What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We got some NFC Championship talk to talk about. Let's go.
Oh my God!
I'm embarrassed.
You're flying.
Welcome in. It's almost time. Welcome in, everybody. This is Agree to Disagree, only on A2D Radio. Every Sunday, we are brought to you by our doc. Make them yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. Locations in Burlington, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. As always, Greg Milwakovic, Nick Delgazzo, Brian Wilson. I'm Tom Arnone. Oh, man. Everybody out there, welcome in, right? Welcome in. I love NFC title game talk. We're used to it, usually in bad ways, right? And, through our 2000s of watching the Philadelphia Eagles, right? It's not always like you bring up an NFC Championship game and you feel like something bad should happen. But we got a lot to talk about.
There's some pain. There's some pain back
there. There's a lot of pain. Rondé's still going.
Vicious is still running at me.
Rondé's still going. There's a lot of pain, but we'll talk about this in a second.
I see some pain in those eyes.
Crumb of the week at the end of the show. Sixers, they end the 5-game road trip, 5-0. All right? 5-game road trip, 5-0, down 21 last night on a getaway day without Joe, without Harden, and they fight and win. The Anthony Melton might be one of the best free agent acquisitions that's under the radar this year around the NBA. And Shake Milton is just a walking bucket, and Maxi's back. So a lot of good things to talk about. Sixers, we'll get into it. Eagles, Giants, we'll recap what we watched last night, the beatdown. Thanks for stopping down the turnpike at a rest area as you got your head knocked off. We appreciate you guys. So we'll get into last night's game. And obviously our main topic at hand, we got to preview what's ahead of us. Eagles, Niners preview ties into our poll question. Brought to you by our good friend at Baggio's Bread, located in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. They're the home of the best stuffed breads, tomato pie sandwiches, cutlets, their meatballs. Oh, my God. Mention HUD Radio. You get 10% off your in-store purchase. Let me tell you something. Had a lot of great grub last night. Took care of us for a little HUD get-together here. Had a tomato pie. Had a Stromboli cheesesteak. Just had some more of it, actually. The chicken cutlets are gigantic. I think they took an ostrich down. You know what I mean? They took the whole ostrich. Thing was gigantic. It was big. I couldn't even fit on the screen right now. That's how big it was. Delicious. And I got cannolis and danishes and listen, I've eaten everything. 10 out of 10, and I'm not a grader. But if I was a grader, 10 out of 10. Poll question for tonight, right into the real meat and potatoes here of the show. The Eagles will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation tonight. You can give us some early predictions, right? We do it all the time. I mean, you can predict all you want. Predict all you want. Let us know your scores, offense and defensive players of the game. We can get into all that. We can dive right into it. And we can do it early again. Look at us, guys. We're early again on it. We're doing previews. Listen, I agree. I don't want to disrespect the 49ers here at all, was what I'm about to say. But there is zero, and I say zero chance that a 7th round, we'll talk about 7th round, because I'll tell you what happens if it does. I'll get to the end part of it. That a 7th round, freaking Mr. Irrelevant this year, comes in the Lincoln Financial Field against the top 3 defense and is good enough to beat you. Because if he is, we got big problems here. Bigger problems than we think we do, right? It all smelled good this year, but that can't happen. I know he's been on a roll. I know he's played well, but this is a different animal. We talked about what the Giants were walking into, a different animal. Obviously, San Fran way better than the Giants, but they're walking into a different animal too, as well as we are offensively, right? With their defense, we're walking into a different animal. Their front seven's awesome. Okay, our line's awesome. Okay, so this is up front. This is a dogfight Up front is a flat-out dogfight. Well, which quarterback's better? Well, I mean, I think if you got a brain right now, you better take Jalen, right? So Jalen's better. If you look at like our skill position players, like what you just faced in Dallas doesn't match up with what you're going to face here. So this is a different animal too in terms of the levels of skill position players. The 2 number 1 wide receivers, the legit number 1 tight end. So that becomes a matchup problem for the Niners defense a little bit if you can protect, right? A quarterback who can run. So the Niners, last time they were on the road against, it was the Raiders game, they got carved up. So against Jared Stidham, not, and I'm not saying that they're not awesome because they are, but their D-backs aren't great outside of Ward. Like Ward's a really good corner. Outside of that, it's like, right? So up front, their front seven's where they get their job done, right? They do a great job stopping the run. That's what we do well, right? Exceptionally well, right? So what gives there, right, we'll figure out. But at the end of the day, defensively, okay, this is the top 3 defense. He can't come in here and beat you. And I know people are going to say, well, he's not going to beat you by himself. I'm saying that you got to take the football away from him. He's due for turnovers. When are they coming? I said it this week. I feel like he might be due for some. All right? They really didn't do really didn't do a ton. Just did enough this week. But our offense is better. Like, you're not holding our offense to the 13 points, 10 points. I refuse to believe that from what I've watched this year when everybody's healthy. Like, I refuse to believe it.
Long as we don't turn the ball over.
Yeah, as long as we don't turn the ball over. But even if we do, we walk into 20. Okay, I feel like we walk into 20.
Dallas scores 20 if they don't turn the ball over.
Well, and I think
I'm saying you can't turn the ball over. That's the key. The Niners doesn't do a good job of forcing turnovers.
And so do we, right? And so have we, right? We have throughout the year. Okay? And we're due for some. We get after the quarterback better than anybody, right? So if somebody's going to put pressure on the kid and make him cough one up, for any quarterback in the league, pressure coughs up. He's been tremendous. I don't want to take anything away from him. But then every game that goes by, it gets a little deeper that I just can't believe it will really happen. There's a lot of unbelievable stories of quarterbacks that weren't drafted late, that developed in that over time. We're talking about a true rookie. That Cinderella run, I feel like needs to end or will end, and it ends this weekend. So I agree. I think the Eagles win this football game. We'll get into some score predictions, etc., in a little bit after everybody goes. But I'm confident. I'm a solid. I'm gonna lock it again. I'm locking it again. I'm locking her in. We'll get another 2 weeks to talk about the Eagles. This is fantastic. Lock her in. Let's go. What do you say, boys?
I agree. I agree. And
Dynamite drop in, Monty.
San Fran is good. I think it's going to be a very tough game. I think this is a game that you have to win in the trenches. You got to be better on the O-line. You got to be better on the D-line. You do that, you win this game. I think we get to Brock Purdy. We rattle him more than anyone has. And I think we can run on them. I know they stopped the run better than anyone in the league. Tommy was saying you can pass on them. You can. They still have a good pass defense. It's just that no one runs on them. So everyone passes against them because you can't run the ball. But I think we can run on this team. I love our offensive line. I think we can run on anybody. And I think if we run on this team, we beat this team. That's what I'm looking for us to do. I'll give a score prediction later. But, yeah, love the Birds. I don't want to echo Tom too much here, but I don't see a rookie coming in and beating us here at home. We're just such a monster at home. You know the place is going to be fucking rocking. I like us.
Yeah, it's hard. I hate to say it's hard not to, but it is because of the quarterback conversation. Not roster-wise. I get it. They're right there roster-wise. Nobody's going to debate that one. All right? They're there. All right? And they're well-coached. They're always in the dance, right? They're always in this conversation. So we know what's coming in there.
I love DeMeco Ryans.
Yeah.
They'll be a head coach soon.
Yep.
Real soon.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But the Cinderella run of Brock Purdy and Sunday by 6:30, 7 o'clock. That Cinderella run, you can talk about it next year where the starter will be. But it ends
like 5:20. Hopefully it's already over.
Oh, it's definitely.
I'm giving you a longer game.
4:45. I'm saying we walk over them like we did the Giants.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so either.
That's not going to be my score prediction. Let me make that clear.
I don't think so.
Let me make that one clear. We're talking about a 3 to 5 piece.
I think it's a low score. I don't think they're going to score many points against us.
Should
No, I think you see a little bit of a similar game that we just watched.
Very similar. Agree.
But the Eagles are at home. So every week, I think everybody's waiting for. Tom thought it was going to end today, so everybody feels like it's coming, and doesn't make you an idiot. You know what I mean? The Purdy thing. It doesn't make you an idiot. But now they got to go on the road in a hostile environment against a team that historically. Sacks the quarterback more than anybody, all time. So just that kind of pressure, you can't imitate that stuff in practice. Even though, like you said, their defense is good. Kidding. So he's seen them this whole time. When he's practicing, but it's not the same. It's. Bose is very good, very, very good. And I like, and Freddie Warner goes, sideline to sideline. So, they're tremendous. It's just, having, that's what you play for the 1 seed for. Because I think if it's reversed, I think the Niners find a way to get it done. If this is in San Francisco, and that doesn't take anything away from the Eagles, but that's why you play for the 1 seed. So, being at home, Eagles are better than the Cowboys. But I still expect a hard-fought game, and you see the difference when Jalen takes care of the ball as opposed to Dak. Dak looked lost today. Man, if you're a Cowboys fan, you gotta be sick to your stomach. That's it ends up a 7-point game, but that's a winnable game. And Dak looks lost. He looked lost all game. And I know they don't have a lot of weapons. As much as people might think, on the surface.
I was going to say, they'll tell you they do.
They tell you they do.
They'll do.
It's really,
Michael Gallup, so good. Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup can't get over against me.
CeeDee Lamb is special. Schultz is, a decent tight end. The loss of Pollard didn't help, but I don't think it was going to, change the game. You never know. It was early enough to where, it probably hurt. Eagles have way more weapons and been a tremendous offense all year. Where the Cowboys had their moments, had their spurts. Where their offense was non-existent. So I think it's like you said. I think it's a different animal on both sides. It's a different animal for the Eagles, and it's a different animal for the Niners, and that's hence that's how you get in an NFC Championship game. You're the two best teams in an NFC that wasn't good all year, and this is what everybody's been waiting for. So giddy up.
One thing to add on to that real quick is that Jalen's seen him. We did play him last year at home. Obviously, two completely different teams per se, right? But defensively, they're similar. We've seen it. We moved the ball against it, and we're way better offensively, obviously, this year than we were last year. So I think that helps. You know what I mean? That we have seen them. Guys have seen these guys before a little bit, and I want to get out the taste of, or the thought process, I should say, of what we've had happen before in the past that should matter now, right? We were the best team all year. We get it. They were the second best team. I understand it, but you go into this game expecting to win this football game, right? There's no excuses to lose this football game. You're not losing to a better football team, all right? I'll keep saying, I hate to keep saying, not with a 7th round quarterback, right? You can beat him, if Garoppolo is playing, whatever, right? I don't think he should beat you either, but you can give it to him, right? You can make it make sense. This I can't make it make sense.
Yeah. I think that's Yeah, and I was just going to say, I think that's I think that's anything in life, and I think that's anything in life, and I think that's anything in sports. You ain't better if you don't win. that's just you say, oh, thanks, Joe Buck. Well, no, that's because there's people that say, there's people that say they beat us, but we're better. No, that's bullshit. I'm the better fighter, but he knocked me out. No. You lost. So if you don't get it done, you don't win. You ain't better. You ain't got a better team. I don't care about roster. I don't care what happens. That goes for both sides. So that's not a threat. That's not challenging anybody. That's reality. Right? You ain't better if you don't win. That's it. That's it.
Back to the matter.
That's it. Draw a line in the sand. All right, there's the line in the sand. This is it. This is giddy up time. It's chance to go to a Super Bowl. All right, for both teams. So I expect So I agree. I agree to the poll. Eagles been the best team in the league all season, so I don't see that changing. But I see, obviously, like I alluded to earlier, a close game, hard-fought game, but Eagles find a way to get it done. You'd like to see, sometimes everybody, always wants to, prefers an easier path. Hey, I'd rather not fight Godzilla if I don't have to, right? That's always cool. I get that, you know what I mean? And it's not the Eagles' fault, but you almost wish that the Vikings won, and you know what I mean? Just so maybe you had last night was a goddamn week 3 preseason game, right? And that takes nothing away from the Eagles, right? They fucking dominated from the start, right? They absolutely put their foot on them, and they said, thanks for coming, but. And just, the first couple drives, I think, are very going to be crucial next Sunday to try to settle in and see what's going on, because there was absolute zero adversity last night. No sweat, no adversity, nothing. So it wasn't like, it was a playoff game, air quote, but it really wasn't anything to wet your beak or to say, hey, I was glad to see you got that playoff game, that playoff win under his belt.
It still was good to get a
of course.
I'll say one thing about that though is that it's about a dominant performance overall as a football team in a playoff game. We've watched an undermanned Dolphins team go to Buffalo and play them to the end, right? And obviously Buffalo comes out this week. They're in a tough game and they lose and they get beat, right? But we've seen teams undermanned, right, go places and keep it close. Right, and I think that the fact that we dominated,
Giants were full force.
Yeah, we're full force for sure. But the fact that it was convincing, I think, like it's easy to say like that's what they should have done, right? Because they're way better. Makes sense, right? Like that's what they should have done. They're way better. But again, you got to go play it, right? We both know each other, and you go out and you're that dominant again. Like that to me. Like settled my nerves even more. Like a win settles your nerves, but if it was a close win, you're like, man, like are we so rusty, or are we that good? And we sort of flash ourselves back to middle of the season when we were rocking and rolling. And I think that's why, as a fan base, that win sort of propels you to believe, all right, we're still the best team in the NFC. We really are that good. Doesn't mean we won't be in close games. But that because we kicked somebody's ass that we're that much better than and did our job the proper way shows how we're locked in, attention to detail, and we got the same goal. Maybe not AJ, but everybody else has the same goal at hand. Martin, I see the super chat. Thank you, brother. He says 30-20. Philly got Reddick, Hargrave, player of the game. Thank you. And Wayne also comes in with a super chat. Wayne says, Wayne Miller, appreciate it. He says they shouldn't trust us with Cinderella. No, Cinderella ends. Greg, to the poll.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna echo all three of you guys and agree as well. I mean, not first off, I got a Super Bowl, NFC Championship, and a Super Bowl ticket that I'm hoping to cash. So would like at least one to cash after this weekend, right? But no, I mean, I think you guys have hit on a lot of really good points. The other side of it too is our running game is different because of our quarterback. Right, because of Jalen and what he brings to the running game, we're not the tradition like we're not what the Dallas Cowboys are. Dallas Cowboys have two good backs, but there's no threat there from Dak, right? So Jalen adds that additional threat and that additional feet on the ground to help with that. I mean, we dominated. Of course, it's the Giants, but we dominated the run game last night. Like we absolutely dominated, right? And when we should have, right? You get up early, run the ball, run the clock. Run it down their throats, and we did that. And I think we have a good complement between the three backs that we have in Jalen. That I think, to Wilson's point, I think we can run on them a little bit, right? I think we can because of the diversity that we have back there. Miles looks good. Kenny looked really good last night. Boston, of course, we knew was going to because it's the Giants. And Jalen, when he needed to, didn't shy away, right? And that was kind of the question going into it is, how much, what is his pain threshold, right? But when he needed to, he did what he had to do, right? And that's what you need to see from your quarterback who's coming in with an injury, right?
Put that to bed, right? I
think when you need it, are you going to go for it? And he is, right? And last night, it was almost like I know Sweeps was having fun in our group chat, but it was almost after that first throw to DeVonta. I'm like, I'm just go to bed, like turn the game off. That first throw kind of like eased everything. But like I said, I'm going to agree. The Purdy thing, the 11, 12 wins in a row, kudos to them, right? Kudos to them. They're an absolute, force right now. But all good things have to come to an end at some point. You're gonna say you're gonna come on the road against another really good team and win 13 in a row with a 7th-round quarterback. I find it hard to believe that all these things are rolling, because we also know in the back of our mind, Kyle Shanahan in big games finds a way to screw things up.
Well, he does, Greg. And you know what else happened today, which is a blueprint?
I thought it was
I thought today's game was a lot closer than it should have been.
No, well,
I had Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas's defense, and you take a page out of it. Dallas's defense, their front four, was able to create pressure today.
Yes.
So we're better than their front four. So, I got to look at that as a sign to tell me that we're going to get after him. We're going to put pressure on him, right? And if we can get him down, or we can get ill-advised throws, right, pressure throws, then maybe we can take 1 or 2 footballs away. Right, and I think that's going to be a difference. Jalen not turning the football over like Sweeps was talking about, obviously, and Wells is the main thing that needs to happen.
Sure.
Right, that's main. But it'd be also nice to take 1 or 2 away, because I think we all say the same thing. We all think the same thing, that this is a dogfight.
Yeah,
if we can. I'm sorry, guys.
No, I was just going to say, I think he's due, right? If you look back at the first half of the Seattle game, I think they dropped 2 or 3. Now, granted, it was in the rain, but hey, that's what it is, right? That's why that game was close at halftime, because of the elements. But they dropped 2 or 3 that hit guys right in the hands. Diggs dropped at least 1 that literally hit him right in the stomach with his hands there. So he's starting to try and thread needles where he shouldn't be. And that's one thing we have done when we were playing well, especially on the defensive side, is we've created turnovers. We created turnovers, and we got a big one last night as they were driving that absolutely cemented the game away. At that point. But yeah, I think he's due, and it's going to come this week.
Yeah, and I think this defense, obviously, like most defenses, play better at home, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the great ones travel, and San Fran's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna believe that they're gonna travel. I'm gonna believe they're gonna travel and play extremely well. But our top 3 defense too is at home, right? And with your home crowd, etc. And that's where another game comes on you, right? We talked about it last night. I talked about it last week, about last night. Hey, they shouldn't even get over 17, right? Like it shouldn't even be a conversation about the Giants. And you said, hold my beer, I'll hold them to 7.
Yep.
Right. But the Niners, you can't you got to come in and can't let them over 20, or 17, like 20, 17, 20 in that area. You got to hold them down. Right, to be able to get through, because it might be a little hard for you to get to 24, right? You know what I mean? I don't know how that's all going to shake out, but you can't expect it to be easy, even though our offense is awesome, but their defense is awesome. But I think the biggest thing you're going to look at this football game, outside of the matchups up front on both sides of the football, is can their secondary hang with what we bring to the table, which is unlike anything they've seen. It's not like anything they've seen, so I don't know if they can. We've seen Seattle, DK take people to the shed. We've seen CD have a big game. Now they're not just facing one guy. Yeah, now they're not facing just one guy. They're facing 2 guys and a tight end that can do it. So that's the biggest, to me, that's going to be a difference in this football game, is can they get it done?
And I think if we can hold up pass blocking, which I fully expect us to, I love our O-line. I'll take our O-line over any O-line in the league by far. But
yeah, Lane Bosa is going to be.
And listen, Lane just
get the treatment in. Get the treatment in. Get the
Lane just absolutely baptized Thibodeau. Hey, welcome to the NFL, Rook. Yeah, I'm gonna dominate you all night. Loved it.
With a groin injury.
Dominate you all night. Loved every second of it. Nick Bosa, better player, but. I will say though, if the Niners, watching the Niners last couple weeks, the Niners jump routes crazy. They look for picks. They go for picks, especially their linebackers.
As they should, right? As they
know,
should.
absolutely.
Yep.
But guess
You
what?
got a great
If we
front.
can hold up on the line, there's double moves to be had on this team for sure. We can push the ball down the field on this team, and I'd like to see us do that.
Oh, Bobby! Look at Bobby, says Willie.
What up, Bob Eggs? Bobby, I was hoping to see you, Bob, but again, come up short. The star comes up short.
That's how it goes.
But Dak's wearing a loyal to the game sweatshirt right now. Yeah.
This
I
is
I want to rethink that one.
Might want to check his eyes.
Wayne, I hope. Thanks for the super chat again, Wayne. I hope Purdy's running for his life. He should be. Our front should be able to do even more than what the Houses did. I just think our offense is so explosive, so good that it's something that's really hard for any defense, no matter how good you are. Doesn't mean that you can't win. Doesn't mean that you can't shut them down. But when you're this deep across the board offensively, and you've shown it, it's not just paper. You've shown how good you guys are. I think this is just going to be another example where we're going to prove it, because we're not necessarily team pass happy either. We're great at running the football as a whole too. So I think when you add that in, that's tough for any defense. Because when you talk about the damn good ones, what do you want to do? You want to take the fight to them, right? You want to take the fight to their front seven. So that's what I expect us to do early. I expect us to play to our defense for a second, right? And run the football early against them to start setting up some play action, set up things that you're going to be able to do to exploit those jumping routes, different little cute stuff that they want to do on the back end. And at the end of the day, when you flip sides, there's no fucking way that this guy comes in here as a rookie, Mr. Irrelevant, and wins at Lincoln Financial Field. No shot. Lock of the half a century.
It's the same thing we were saying last week, Tommy. Obviously, it's even more. It's going to be even more magnified this week because they're a much better team than the Giants are. But if we take care of what we're supposed to take care of, and we execute, we don't turn the ball over, don't give them a short field. Okay, make him have to actually drive the ball against our defense. I really like our chances. Really, really like our chances.
Yeah, and not saying they don't have playmakers, because they do.
They absolutely do. Listen, they absolutely do.
I've said all this stuff without trying to take anything away from them, right? But at the end of the day, we're talking about a quarterback who's in the MVP conversation. We see how good he is, and a quarterback that has played really well since he's been given the keys, right? But is still so young that at some point, when's the wall hit? Mm-hmm. When's the shoe drop on Cinderella? Well, guess when? I told you when. It's going to start dropping at 3. All right, gets a little loose at 3:05. Shoes a little loose at 3:05. Because that's how good our defense is. That's how good they've been. And that's how much pressure they put on any quarterback. But I'll say one thing. This is a game where Jonathan Gannon has to trust going man. He has to trust going man. Last week's the game, you run a lot of zone because you want your corners to be able to see Daniel Jones because of his ability to run the football, right? So you want
and they love those little check downs, the Giants. Jones loves throwing those little fucking 8 to 5 yard outs.
I feel like they did go. They started off man early, and that's what threw Daniel Jones off, is because I think he was expecting a lot of zone, and when he looked up, he didn't have anywhere to go.
Bradberry's pick was in man.
Yeah, and I think that's, to your point though, Tommy. I think that's when they're at their best. Now, granted, already, when you go up 7-0, 14-0 right off the bat, you're already playing from behind. So our front four just goes, let's go get the quarterback. But no, I think you're absolutely right. And if you look at the box score from today, I mean, San Fran only ran the ball at 3.5 yards a clip, right? And then they only had 5 guys catch the football. So while they do have weapons, there are guys that we can key in on, and hopefully use kind of let's not confuse Dallas for a great defense. They're a good defense. They're not great though.
No, good.
Right, and they were able to stifle what was going on.
And that's sort of what I thought they'd be able to do to them, but I thought they'd be able to take the ball away, and they didn't. Yeah. And that was the difference in today's football game of me thinking Dallas was going to win and them not winning, is they didn't get any of the takeaways that I thought they were going to be in, and their offense was putrid and Dak was putrid, and then losing Pollard at halftime doesn't help you when you're going in for a score too. When you're going in for a score there too. Part of me wanted to see Dallas after that. I hope they found the way because no Pollard makes it a little easier on us. But we have weapons galore. They got weapons on defense, but I don't think their skill position defensive players can match up all day with what we bring to the table offensively. I just don't see it.
No, and to flip that around, you look at CD. CD had 10 catches on 13 targets, and he's their only weapon, right? Him and Schultz. And then Schultz had 5. Everybody else had 2 catches or less. So our secondary guys are much better than your Noah Browns, than your T.Y. Hiltons at this point in his career, right? Then that's it. Noah Brown, T.Y. Hilton.
I mean, they'll tell you Michael Gallup's a star.
Yeah, he didn't catch one. He didn't catch one pass on three targets. So start at. But no, so say CD's AJ. Right, you know what I mean? And so you have AJ going off, and then you have DeVonta coming right behind him. We know he gets targets.
As long as AJ's not whining. I don't like that little whine fest by AJ at the end of the game.
He was fine. There were reports he was fine in the locker room, so it had to just be something on the field. And it looked like to me,
Greg, I don't need you to tell me he's fine. I can see him whining.
He was. I'm not saying he wasn't, but I'm saying in the locker room, he was fine.
Yeah, well, when it's 38-7, I don't need you fucking whining.
I think the reports were he was mad he got taken off the field.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
He was whining.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling you. I'm not going to be negative.
They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, he was upset he didn't get the fucking ball in a blowout win. They're going to say, oh, he was upset he got taken off the field.
No, because he was.
I was a little concerned when he got up after the fall that he was a little nicked up, and that was my concern.
That's what they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was wide open. Jalen missed him on a touchdown, and he was fucking butthurt about it.
That's exactly what it was. 100%.
100.
Look like.
Stamp it.
But I'm not going to be negative tonight, so I'm going to move on from.
That's my only negativity. For
yeah, but I'm not. I'm just going to stop because I said what I had to say last night about him, so I'm over it. I've moved on. I've moved on to San Francisco. Yeah, JD.
That carries on to San Francisco. I'm going to continue to talk about it.
Yeah. So JD says Gannon needs to stay aggressive. He did good against the Giants. We need to play man against the Niners, and we need the blitz.
I think that's the biggest thing is that word right there, aggressive. You can see how good our defense is when we're aggressive. I mean, you play aggressive, and we just look like we're flying around out there.
Wow.
And then when we're not aggressive, you see us, couple of the last, maybe 3 of the last 4 games of the year. We're playing passive. We're not aggressive. We're playing off the ball, and guys just completing and moving the ball down the field against us. When we're aggressive, we look like we can't be stopped defensively.
And with the way, the only thing I'll say that to JD's last comment is with the way our front four does, we don't even have to blitz. They get home enough. You know what I mean? Like the front four has done a really good job this year of being able to get home alone to where you don't have to blitz. But yeah, I mean, it all comes down to, as you guys have said, that aggressive start, right? That aggressive nature in what you do.
Home alone, Kevin McAllister. I still think honestly, I almost feel like we should be ultra aggressive next week because I don't see, has he thrown the ball down the field? Like Brock Purdy, he's been really good. And I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm not going to sit here and trash him. He's been phenomenal. 14 touchdowns, 2 picks, and 7-0. He's been spectacular. But he's not airing the ball down the field. They throw a lot of screens, a lot of short passes, get the ball in their playmakers' hands. So we know that. We need to be coming up and being super aggressive. I'll even take getting beat deep once or twice if we're super aggressive and cutting off those fucking wide receiver screens. And there's a lot of they try to get a lot of Debo and Ayuk in open field and McCaffrey in open field.
Yep. A lot of misdirection.
I think that long was that the Kittle's long was the longest play of the day. It was 31 yards.
Yeah,
I think that was that broken play where he missed 7 times.
Off his hand in his head.
Yeah. And he missed Ayuk. That's a 7th-round Mr. Irrelevant throw. He missed Ayuk on a corner post. He throws it to the pylon. It's a touchdown. He threw it behind him, and the Cowboy guy got a hand on it. I mean, but a seasoned guy or a guy that's, to Tommy's point, that goes back to the experience and the skill level. And, an experienced guy makes that throw.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
mean,
I would try to force them to try to push the ball down the field against us. And I assume that we can stop the run. If we stop the run, force them to try to go over the top. I think they playing right into our hands.
Yeah, well, I think this is the big thing too. Of what Jonathan Gannon, and it's been a fault of Jonathan Gannon's since he's arrived here, at least to us, right? And not crushing the guy, just a fault. Everybody has a fault, right? Is that he's allowed guys that shouldn't get comfortable to get comfortable. And this Sunday, you can't allow this young guy to get comfortable. What Dallas did a great job of defensively tonight, and Dan Quinn, is they did not allow him to get comfortable.
Especially early,
One player's won, but they did a great job early at stuffing the run, making them as much one-dimensional as possible, and trusted their secondary. Well, if they trust our secondary, we sure as hell should trust ours, right? So, you look at the levels and you look at how good both teams are. I mean, defensively, we're better than Dallas. I mean, the numbers speak for it. The sacks speak for it. I mean, I know they take the ball away a lot. So do we. So this is a matchup that San Francisco's got playmakers. They absolutely do. All right. Most teams you're going to find in an NFC title game have guys that can make plays. But at the end of the day, like we know in all sports, if you're winning up front and you're getting home and you're creating havoc, this game's not even a question. The Eagles are going to the Super Bowl, and we'll figure out who we're playing, Bengals or Chiefs. Either one, don't care. Just give me another 2 weeks, right? That's house money talk, right? You get to a Super Bowl, you want to win it. Don't get me wrong, but that's always house money, right? Because you're there. You're one of the last two teams. It's a great lead up of 2 weeks to the Super Bowl, right? So there's a lot of excitement, everybody's feeling good, right? Everybody's eating a lot too. It's the wintertime, right? We all just feel great, right? So that's all I'm looking for right now. And I just cannot believe it. I'll give my score prediction in a second. And I want your guys and everybody out there chance to win $350 now it's up to. All right. If somebody nails the score. All right. Nobody has. People have been close. Bill will tell you. We see you, Billy. We'll talk about it. Eagles opened up on DraftKings at -2.5 at home where 3's given. Essentially, so Vegas is telling you they got the Niners as a slight favorite per se, which I find a little weird, but we'll get into it in a second. I think the Eagles win this. I think they win this 24. I think they win this. What I say, they can't get over 20, right? So 24-20 Eagles. 24-20. That's what I'm going with. 24-20.
I'll piggyback right to you and say 19-17 Eagles.
Ooh.
Let's go.
Oh, that's a butthole tight. That's tight.
It's going to be tight.
23-16 Birds.
Okay, so we all sort of feel the same way so far about our defense and what should be accomplished here at Lincoln Financial Field starting at 3:00. All right, with a great Jonathan Gannon. Greg, are you going to continue on that?
I'm going to continue right in that area. 24-20.
You said the same one I have.
Right. Scores.
Is that what you said?
Tom.
Yeah, that's fine.
I can't tell where fucking Tom ends and Greg begins.
No, I thought you said 17. Sorry.
Did I say 17? Did I say 17?
No, you said 24-20. Yeah.
I was thinking 17.
You said the exact same thing.
I'll go 24-17 then.
Okay. I mean, I'll swap with you. I mean,
24-17.
Touching tips.
I mean, I should put more pressure on this defense and say 17. Marquise, who's the 8th ranked defense? Eagles? Eagles are 8th ranked defense? I didn't think that was the case.
No.
And what are you ranking?
It might be, but that's also probably counting the last 3 games with a backup quarterback.
I don't care what the fuck we're ranked. We're top 4, clearly, because there's 4 teams left. We're one of them.
True. Wow, Don. I mean, Don. 38-17 Eagles to Donner.
Love it, Don.
I can see it.
I might get there by Wednesday, Donnie.
Listen, a couple early interceptions or a couple early turnovers could lead to something outlandish like that. Like you're an early pick away, an early pick 6 away from maybe a wheel fall off type situation.
That team, I think if they were a shittier team with a worse coach, I would agree. But they're well coached. They're going to be ready to play.
Did the
That doesn't mean
Giants
you're
win?
not ready to play. This means the quarterback's not ready to play.
Yeah, I
Did the
think
Giants win
even if
the
they
coin
turn the
toss
ball
and
over,
defer?
their defense would stand up, just because
Three
that's the kind of
turnovers.
team they are.
3 turnovers.
Well, 3 turnovers, then we're
Well, that's what I'm
fucking
sort of
partying.
thinking.
3
That's
turnovers,
what
we're partying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the Don's point. That's what has to happen. That's all I'm saying. I don't got him at 38 points. So knock it off. I scored 24. Okay, I'm talking about Don's.
I didn't say anything. I just said.
Nah, you had a lot
I
of
was
it.
just saying. I was saying. I think that they're going to come to play. That's all. I mean, I fully expect them to come to play.
All right,
We scored 38 points. I mean, it's going to be a good fucking day.
I will piss you off. You know what I mean? I will personally. I should have said that on there. Colin says second ranked defense, the Eagles. So that's what I thought. Top 3. That's what I always said. So all right, cool. Greg, what the hell were you saying?
No, I was curious because I think did the Giants win the coin toss and defer? Because I think that was their biggest mistake of the night.
I don't know. I asked that. I wasn't sure if they did.
Because why would you give us the football first?
Yeah, because
you know what our defense. You know what I mean?
I would want the football first, and I was hoping Nick took it. Right? Like I was hoping Nick took it, went down, made a statement with his first 15.
Yeah.
Right. So I wasn't sure who. Joshua says yes, they did. So they did defer. Wow. I mean, that's a bad move from the Giants, in my opinion. That's a bad move.
Giants with a coin toss. They called tails, and then they deferred. So good call, because and that's where I think that played right into our game plan, obviously, right? You know what I mean? And that's where we talk about, we went down, we did what we wanted to do, we drove right down the field, and then we put our defense on the field with a lead. Like that's perfect scenario right there.
What number do you need here? So one above all says I need 8 sacks on Purdy. What's the number? What's the number you need?
I mean, that's like a historic game right
8 sacks on Purdy, like the greatest NFC Championship defensive game of all time.
I love it though.
I just want to know where everybody's at where they need.
That would be spectacular.
What do you need? What do you need?
What I need? I need a win, but I'd like defensively.
Just end the show.
Give me 2 turnovers. Give me 2 turnovers.
No,
Utah, give me 2.
Yeah, I know. I got the turnover side, but I was talking about sacks.
Oh, sacks. Oh, my bad.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, stay on. Yeah, you're right.
You didn't say what sacks. You said what do you need to get a win?
Yeah, we're talking about sacks.
You talk about the comment with sacks.
I'd like 4.
4. Okay.
I'd like 4.
Greg, what would you like?
Greg, don't you ever fucking shoot me, Greg. You're the clueless motherfucker I met in my life.
Well, it should have been true because you get on here and the lights get bright.
You never said sacks. You said what do we need?
I said I need 8 sacks. That's what one above all says. So I said one above all. Then I said, okay, how many you need? What do you need?
4. I think give me 4.
Okay.
Give me 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with what we had last night in 5. I think that's 4's a great number. I'm gonna go 5. Very disruptive is what that causes, though.
8 would be.
8 would be glorious.
That's when we scored 38.
Yeah, 38-17.
Yep.
A couple sack fumbles.
Sweeps, what do you got?
Yeah, about 3. I mean, we know Shanahan. He's not a huge big game guy, but he's a good coach. And I can't imagine this week there's going to be a bunch of game planning on getting the football out even more than they already do. So I don't see that, he's dropping, I don't see Mr. Purdy taking too many 7-step drops, 5 to 7-step drops, so, I don't know if the Eagles will have, they very well could get to 5. They've been doing it all year. So, but I think, the one more than, I think the Cowboys got 2 today. So one more than the Cowboys, make it a nice little 3-burger.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 4 too. I think 4 was a good number. I do. JD White says, is Maddox coming back this week? I don't know. I know he was without the boot working out. He was a non-participant in practice this week, but he was out there stretching and stuff. No boot, so that would hope lean towards maybe this week limited participant early. And maybe a full by the end of the week, right? You would hope, because I could do without Reed Blankenship, anymore. No disrespect, we're talking about another young guy, a rookie, right? Late pick. I'd rather have CJ back there where he led the league in picks, right? and have Avante back in the slot, right?
I mean,
He played well in the
that's
slot though
obviously
last night. Now, granted, different animal.
most ideal.
yeah.
You know,
I'm not
it's a
saying
different
he's not
animal, but I think they both played well last night where they needed to be.
I thought Blankenship, as long usually if it's not glaring that they're bad, then they play pretty well. I thought Reed played pretty well.
I think the only thing he blew was that Richie James touchdown that he missed anyway.
Yeah, Richard James dropped anyway. Yeah, so
Could have used it for the over, but
by the way, Greg, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because I needed it for the over, and I had Richie James as captain in a fucking one that was playing well. That was playing well, and like if he catches that, I'm like, game can end right there. I might fucking be having a great night.
once that happened, it was done. And then Kenny broke his, and I'm like, oh, I got a chance. And then the second string, as I said, second string came out laying wood on that last drive.
Dude, how about the fact that this is an embarrassing thing that we didn't bring up? And I was thinking about maybe being passive to the Giants fans, but fuck them, because I hate New York. How embarrassing is it that we have all of our backup linemen in and our third string running back, and we run right down the fucking field on you? That to me is the ultimate, most embarrassing thing of last night that happened. Oh, by the way, our third string running back is going to go right down the field for 70 yards on the last drive. Just to pour a little more salt in your fucking shitbag wounds. Enjoy that bus ride back up north.
Well, we've owned them. I mean, we've owned them. I mean, it's a flat out ownership.
And the third string D-backs were laying wood last night.
Yeah, they were.
They were putting some tape out last night. So, yeah, I think Dable's biggest mistake besides the was also at the coin toss, but instead of deferring, he should just wave the white flag. saved everybody 3.5 hours.
Maybe not punt it on 4th and 6 on that other drive. I think the 46-yard line or so.
Yeah,
we go on an 8-minute drive after that to wax the game up. Thank you,
it.
Brian.
I would have. Yeah, you know me. I would have ranted, but I missed it. I was watching something else.
Punch the dateline.
Drinking heavily. Yeah.
I couldn't believe
a murder mystery. Well, he went for it in the first. That's what I'm saying. These guys crack me up. They went for it, and he went for it early. Which, hey, I'm all for being aggressive. I hate kickers. And then you punt it there. Like, let's keep it respectable. let's keep it under 40.
Yeah, the thing, we've owned the Giants. I mean, that's been ugly for years now, right? I mean, that's been a beatdown for a while.
Yeah, there's no rivalry.
No. I like how people thought they were going to win. That was hilarious.
Ooh, that's scary.
There was a lot. There was a lot more than you would think.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that Vikings game was a mirage. You know what I mean? And that's, brought some.
The Vikings are who we thought they were.
Yeah, brought some Danny Dime guys out. Brought some Dime guys out, and
yeah, they were around.
Brought some fans out the bushes. They felt like they accomplished something in Minnesota. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Dimes turned.
Which maybe they did because they're not, they aren't as talented as the Vikings. So maybe they did accomplish something, but it really wasn't anything.
I would agree with that Umberto too. Sorry, Tom, go ahead.
No, same thing. I agree. They've been effective for sure, right? I'm
still
just saying,
would rather have him in the back.
Yeah, if I'm getting to a Super Bowl and I got to face the likes of the Chiefs or the Bengals too, just per se, if I get past this week. Right, I could really use a guy like Avonte Maddox for that week. I mean, could really use it for that week where there's guys just all over the field on both teams. So wherever you play that following week, you got guys everywhere, right? And a healthy amount.
I'll tell you what, that Bengals team is tough, man. Joe Burrow is the guy. He is. Oh,
he's awesome. He's awesome.
That guy. He's that guy.
There's not many teams.
And he's a lot more elusive than he goes off. That he gives off. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what? He extends like nobody's business, but. Most teams, and I love to know numbers on this, but most teams that
he's got that swag too.
Have a little hangover, right? Credit to them because their hangover lasted 2 games, and credit to him because he's part of them, right? And he only let that hangover last 2 games, and then they turned it up a notch as the season continued to go on. So that's why he's a winner. That's why he's a great leader, and that's why you go get your guy, the guy he wants to. If you believe that guy's your franchise quarterback, like they did when they drafted him, and the following year. Guess what you do for that guy? You go get him your guy, and you see the result.
And they
started
Same thing the Eagles did. They started out 2-3. 2-3. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do, which I thought all year they would have it for 1 year. That's all I thought. I thought 1 year, Cincinnati has a little down year, maybe 500. Following year, they're back to being an NFC title game. right? But credit Joe Burrow and their coaching staff.
I was going to say, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, I think Zach Taylor flies under the radar. He's done a tremendous job there. I mean, when you land your guy, which you alluded to, when you land your guy, that helps. All right, but Zach Taylor's done an unreal job in Cincinnati, changing that culture. And, it does start at the top. But I also got news for you. And they are tremendous, extremely talented, and they're a really good football team. But today's a little bit of a mirage. I don't hear me out. Bills don't rush the passer very well. And then you add snow, right? So those offensive linemen were a little bit masked today. And I give the guys credit, the backups. If they advance and the Birds advance, watch your head. Watch your head in that Super Bowl, Joe. Watch your head. You know what I mean? I'm not making any predictions. Like
Jones might ruin the game next weekend.
Watch your head, Joe. Cool. If you make it to, both teams make it to the Super Bowl, because today was one of those things where it felt like if you're the Bills Mafia, a bunch of losers. It's snow, and we love the snow and all that stuff. You didn't want the snow today. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't. The footing.
You don't run the ball.
Well, yeah, that too. But you lose your footing on defense and stuff.
You can't just.
Yeah,
you can't throw the ball.
They really missed Von Miller.
You throw the ball like you're playing in Miami. I mean, I got to say this. This is part of my crumb of the week. So we talked
about this last weekend, Tommy.
I got to save this rant.
You can't. You don't win in the playoffs when you don't run the football.
And what do we do great?
Doesn't run the football has lost.
What do we do great? We run the football great. So when you go into this matchup against the best defense in football, especially best front seven, right? I know they rank out as the best defense, but it's because
San Fran runs the ball too. It should be a fucking slugfest.
But we run the ball better than anybody does.
Oh no, I totally agree.
So to that level is okay. You guys are great at stopping it, no questions about it. But at some point, right? What wins? What wins? I don't know. Like that's the part of the game that we honestly can say up front on both sides. Who wins? Because that's the biggest unknown, right?
I think that's who wins the game.
But our defensive line, I think, wins, right? I think our D line wins. Question is that really difference maker in this football game too is the other side of it.
I think our O line wins.
Well, do you go 2-0 up front? Can your O line win enough against a tremendous front? Well, and sideline to sideline will not work here. This has got to be put your foot in the ground, hard, aggressive runs. Okay, paging Miles Sanders real quick.
Paging Miles Sanders.
And you've been great all year, Miles. But finish it off this Sunday. Finish off what you've done great. Put the foot in the ground and tell Fred Warner, I want all of it. I want all of it, Freddie. I want all of it.
Listen, you can be. Go. Yeah, I agree with you. I hear you. And that's what I would say. Well, no, you can be. It takes nothing away from the Niners and being the best at stopping the run. You know what I mean? You could also be the best wrestler in the world and run into Andre the Giant. You got problems. You got problems. You know what I mean? Like you're looking around saying, anybody else? You got anybody else back there? Anybody else back there? So you're great at stopping the run, but you're dealing with an offensive line that mauls people, dude. That they move grown men. Like this is, I don't care who they are. The Giants still get paid to play football. I mean,
Giants front's really good.
Guys, they were moving guys last night. Like it was electric football. You plug it in the machine and guys were just spinning around. They were spinning guys around like 1980s electric football. It was incredible. I was like, what's going on here? This is it was absolute mall fest. So you could be the best at something, and then you turn the corner and you don't want to go down the alley because there's the big bad wolf down the alley.
I fucking love Landon Dickerson too. By the way, I fucking love Landon Dickerson.
Well, let me tell you something.
Dickerson's he's like mini Kelsey. Landon Dickerson. I fucking love it.
No, he was Landon Dickerson's a great player, and that's why we're glad we got him. Because he's a great offensive lineman, another winner from Bama. But the bigger thing is that defensive front's the key to what the Giants are. I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, Dexter Lawrence is a Pro Bowl and All-Pro. Okay, Tibbs is the first round.
Leonard Williams.
Right, Leonard Williams. That ain't no fraud front that you dominated last night. That's big boys in the middle that have done a great job of stopping the run all year. Those guys, they're the reason that they've been as good as they've been. It's because of their defense. Yep. You expose their biggest strength is their fucking defense. And everybody told me all week, oh, yeah, David Kenny's back. And you didn't see Adoree
Jackson.
Yeah. And Leonard Williams didn't play. Those three guys didn't play last time. Cool. That saved you 6
points. Did they play last night?
That saved you 6 points. That was the difference. Saved you 6 points because you got 38 put up on your ass. So that's why the last night was so impressive. moving and segueing into this week because the Giants' strength with their defense, not to the level of the Niners, I get it, but the Niners' strength is their defense. So when you look at both teams and their strengths, right, their strengths are sort of similar besides the offensive firepower, obviously, on the that San Fran has, but they still win by their defense, first and foremost. Right, their defense carries.
That's how
them.
they won today.
That's how they won today. So they have a recipe for their success, and it's worked great for them. Won a ton in a row. I agree with Craig. Couple things. It's something to continue to win. Like at some point, somebody punches you in the mouth. The winning ends. Nobody goes 16-0, right? And they're on a run to be like a 16-0. Or at some point, that's going to stop. It has to stop. It should stop. And who's the better football team? When you really look at it, the Eagles are a better football team. Okay. The Eagles are a better football team. They are. It's not a shot. At every level of every level, if you graded out every level of each team, the Eagles come out on top. If you graded it out. And the most important position in all sports is the quarterback position, and the Eagles win that position. So as long as he's been the Jalen Hurts been all year in terms of not turning the football over, the Eagles win this game. If they don't turn it over, it's not even a question. You can go to bed, they win. No, we don't want to say go to bed. You can lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it in. Lock it a century. If the Eagles don't turn the football over, they win Sunday.
Inside joke. And that goes to show.
We're not revealing.
That goes to show too. Last night, like Jalen wasn't great last night. You know what I mean? Jalen missed some wide open throws, but then had some really good throws, like normal weeks. But he didn't turn the football over, Tommy. Right to your point.
Yeah,
he didn't turn the football over, and so you could get away with being average or mediocre on any given night when you don't turn the football over. And I think that was it because he wasn't great. I mean, no one's going to crush him because we ended up winning. You know what I mean? But you could tell that he's still working back. You know, he's still working back from an arm injury and a shoulder injury.
Well, and a layoff.
Yeah, and a layoff.
I mean, he played one game. He played 2 games against the same team twice.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the advantage is he's played 2 games. So you're not going to an NFC title game with him only playing 1. Now the speed's back. So last night's another example, Greg, of us getting one step closer to that full speed of that 3-week plus a little bit of layoff he's gotten. And now you're ready to go. You get treatment. You got your chemistry back with guys. And this offense is too good. This football team's too good. And I'll continue to say this all week long until people are tired of hearing it. And I'm not in the business of thinking about jinxes. Okay? I'm changing that culture here in Philadelphia. One word at a time. And I'm changing it again for this week and this year with this football team. This cute little Cinderella shit that's going on, that it's Brady coming to town type shit, knock it off. It ends this week. That gets laid to rest this week. Doesn't mean next year, guy's not awesome. Doesn't mean it. I'm just saying, cute little Iowa State story. Tom Brady-esque run.
Cyclones.
That ends.
Cyclones.
That absolutely.
It's going to be looking for a tornado to take him anywhere.
And if it doesn't end this weekend, we got question marks, like I talked about, and I don't want to get negative at all. But I'm going to have guys on this defense I probably don't want back, right? I mean, it's going to be fair, right?
I thought we were going to get negative.
Could do without you, maybe a coach or two. I said I could do without, right? Because this is a game that I think you shouldn't lose.
Depending on who fucks up in this game, if we lose, there's going to be a few people I don't want back.
Oh, you done fucked up. You're out.
Because I know somebody wants a contract. Well, guess what? It's a big run hard game. It's a big run hard game. It's a big run hard game, Miles. Big one. It's a big one.
I probably give him a 2 years.
You want a contract? This is the game. This is where you get a contract or not.
Yeah,
I'm letting you know right now. I'll tell you. I'll call Howie.
You run for 90? Hold on. Miles Sanders runs for 90 plus, right? 90. We'll give him 85, right? We'll give him 85.
Sign the contract. Blank check. You ever seen a movie? Blank check. Sign
I'm
it.
not blank checking. You're at it.
I know.
Jerry Jones,
I'm honestly not going to sign him at all. But we can pretend.
I'll give him a 2-year deal. I'll give you a 2-year deal. I'm not giving you 4 or 5 like you're a fucking quarterback, but I'll give you a 2-year deal, right? With some good money, some good incentives, right? For sure to stay here. Okay. But at the end of the day,
big game Sunday goes a long way.
Yeah. Over under. Miles Sanders, let's say, I don't know what DraftKings has. I don't know if they have the player stuff out yet. They don't, right? They never
I would guess it's probably around 60 something. Because the Niners only average letting up like 74 a game, I think.
Anybody that fucks up in this game.
75 against the Cowboys today, I think.
Anybody that fucks up in this game end up like Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. You walk into an empty room. Ah, fuck.
It said, hey, somebody else on the phone. What happened? It's over. It's done.
It's like that meme that the Jets player walking into the facility, puts his code in, it doesn't work. Like, what's going on here? This code worked yesterday.
A lot of codes.
Wakes up outside like Willie Mays Hayes.
Red day. Red day.
I've been cut already.
Guys, wherever you're listening at, do us a favor here at A2D. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Help us get to 10K over on YouTube. And if you're watching over on Facebook, Twitter, do the same damn thing. Stick around. We got shows every night here. Right? You might hate us. Right? And okay. There's other guys. You might love us and you'll see us again. So either way, it's a win-win for you.
We're around.
You guys want to dabble with your offensive, defensive players in the game? I'll lead us off. I'm going to give you both of mine, and I'm going to do my mid 1 hour urination. Right? I might get a urinal down there.
Guys over 40 now.
Yeah, the old man.
On the hour.
Gotta get a urinal.
First off, if that's like an option, yeah, sign me up for urinal.
If that's an option,
that's
it's my house. I can be whatever option the fuck I want, right?
I'm just saying, like, yeah, urinal, yeah.
Yeah, when you own it, it's yours. Well, do I like this option? I like this option.
Oh, yeah,
you put a little good smell
in it. You might have to run a little something by leg.
Yeah, I was going to. Well, no, you can't just drill a hole. Yeah. You're capable of doing anything you want. You got to run some pipe.
Well, I'm not a pipe runner per se. They don't think that. I mean, I'm a pipe layer, but not necessarily a pipe runner. Okay. That's what she said about him.
That's a dad joke. That's a dad urine joke.
Yep. Listen, 2 for 2. 2 for 2. Age dad joke all in one. Listen, my kid's been fucking tremendous. I mean, I'm ready to put the goal. I'm almost gold jacket up. They win a Super Bowl this year. I might just go get him in Canton. Just drive him up. You know what I mean? He has a big game in the Super Bowl too. I might drive him up because he's special. He's damn good. He actually missed the catch last night.
I was going to say he did miss it not DeVonta like.
Yeah, uncharacteristic drop because he doesn't drop the football.
I couldn't figure that word out.
But listen,
that was characteristic. That Greg couldn't.
Google it.
I think he gets another touch.
Not you, Greg. Not you.
Don't Google it.
I think he's over 100 and a touch again. You know, I mean,
listen, he's been doing it every game. He's been doing it every game, Tom. 100 and a touch every game. I love me some DeVonta.
I think DeVonta's like.
Isn't it crazy that he's so thin, but every time he gets hit hard, he pops up faster than the guy that hits him.
Yeah,
it's not as bad as it looks, right? Jerry Maguire. It's not as bad as it looks. It's not as bad as it looks on TV, right? Like,
he reminds me of, even though they're different. They're built different. But he's Marvin Harrison was the same way. Tiny guy, and just avoided big hits. Knew how to avoid big hits.
Yeah.
And DeVonta's the same way.
And when you're an elite, like we talked about his skill set draft night, right? Micah obviously jumped up one on my draft board. Greg remembers, right, even more. But Micah jumped up one. I listened to him talk a lot more, and I loved how competitive he was. So a lot of things jumped up for Micah. But
yeah, DeVonta's not bad. He's okay.
DeVonta was 2 to me, and Surtain was 3. All those 3 guys. But the thing about DeVonta that I knew would translate, because you talk about players, right? Like what do you know will translate? Well, he's an elite route runner because he had to be, right? He's an elite route runner and he's got great hands. Well, those 2 things are going to translate. Those 2 things translate, and they have for him. So I think he has another big game Sunday. There's no reason for me to think he doesn't. I don't know why my phone keeps turning up the volume. Isn't that weird? But I don't know if you guys heard that. But yeah, either way,
it's just trying to turn up.
Turn up. I'm gonna hope my son, my other kid, goes back to safety this week, and that's CJ Gardner-Johnson. And even if he doesn't, he's back again. He's been back for 2 weeks now as well. So I'm gonna give him that pick. You know, he gets a pick 6. CJ Gardner-Johnson, pick 6. All right, and after this win, and you're playing in a Super Bowl, you're gonna have to sign him and give him top 5 safety money.
Now that's a guy I do sign.
Oh, no doubt.
Oh, absolutely. Because
Miles, you can try to run into a contract. CJ, I'm already ready to sign him.
I'm actually shocked he's one of the guys that isn't signed.
And honestly,
I don't want to say
it's not even a slight at Miles. I just don't think that you can. In this day of the NFL, I feel like running backs are a dime a dozen. I don't sign any running back.
no, yeah, and not with a quarterback who can run like
Not at
ours.
least long term. Tommy, 2 years. I agree.
Yeah, but with a quarterback who can run, we talked about this. You can plug and play a lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
You can plug and play a lot more with a quarterback who can run.
Big time.
Doesn't mean you don't need talent back there, but you can plug away.
First off, with our offensive line, you can plug and play with any running back you want.
Yeah, even if Kelsey wasn't here and what's his face was your starter next year, you drafted in the second round, Jurgens, who's a damn good center, who Kelsey told you to draft. That was like Kelsey said.
Yeah,
Jurgens.
I assume he'll probably be pretty good. Our offensive line coach is pretty awesome, and the guy that's in front of him probably gonna teach him a couple things.
And wanted to draft him. Umberto, I actually agree with this. This is like a hot take per se, because majority of the public wouldn't agree with this. Majority of the public's going to tell you AJ's better because he's bigger and he's more physical, and I get that, right? But I think DeVonta Smith a better overall wide receiver. I just do.
Better hands.
Better hands.
Dropped one yesterday,
but AJ's a fucking freak. That's the difference. AJ's a gorilla. Right, so you can't stop him. He's a monster.
I mean, he paved the way for Devontae's first touchdown.
Yeah, because he's a monster.
With that block, man. Yeah, absolutely.
So they're opposites, and they attract, they attract so well that they both get their numbers. That's like Reggie Wayne, Marvin days, right? Where to Will's point, you had two guys that were elite, but they got the numbers. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. Yeah. This is what these guys are on the level of being able to do together. I just want people to understand this. Like, that's the level they can be at in 3 years from now, when you're looking back at them and you're saying, wow to Howie Roseman, look what you gave your young quarterback. And Dallas got it. Your tight end's already signed. So that's what they did this year. They literally
could have a season like the Miami guys had this year.
Yeah, they copied what guys like Reggie, Marvin, right? Isaac, Torrey, Larry, Anquan, they mimicked that type of year. Same with the guys in Miami. They mimic those types of big years. And AJ DeVonta did that same thing. Now, you need a body of work longer than 1 year to be in the overall category as those guys. But that's my point is, if you project it, 3-4 years from now, health, etc., right? That's what those guys could be. Because the tight end signed too. So the other big part of that puzzle is who were the tight ends on those teams? Well, we know Indy's had what? Dallas or Dwight Clark.
Dallas Clark and Marcus Pollard.
So, I mean, whatever. Long story short, we have something really special here at the wide receiver position. And I think that trade, that trade for A.J. Brown and drafting DeVonta Smith, I think that those two moves by Howie Roseman show big this weekend, because that's the big difference when you look at rosters. Yes. Our quarterback and the wide receiver match up to their secondary. That's the difference. And if those things win,
and three really huge off-season moves that have, C.J. Gardner-Johnson wasn't really even off-season. That was kind of in-season.
Well, league leader in picks. League leader in picks.
Bradberry, Bradberry gets a pick against his former team in the playoffs. Like that.
Hasson Reddick.
And Hasson Reddick has been spectacular. He was literally all over the field in the first half.
If his name was Micah Parsons, he'd be the defensive player of the year.
Yeah, for sure. That's how good he's been all year.
He's been a monster.
It hasn't been like,
and he's dropped back half the time too.
It hasn't been like, he did it for 7 weeks, right? He's been doing it like all year. It's been a consistent run, and not just this year. He does it every year.
Oh yeah.
And the guys
that's why there's some similarities in the two teams, and that's why they're the two left standing in the NFC. Because I know Tom is hatred for Shanahan and wants to give all the credit to Lynch. Then you'd have to give all the credit to Howie, and that's okay too. You know what I mean? Because Howie's done the same thing.
I do. I'm not.
I know.
Nick's got to win to get over my dog upsetness. All right.
You gotta really tip your cap to Howie though, and I know I've been very.
No, I am. Hold on. Well, so I'll tip my cap to Howie. I'm not over the Doug thing, right? Like, Nick's done great, but you got to win a Super Bowl because you fired one, and that guy can still coach, and he's still coaching. So listen, times end. I get it. Times run out at places, right? Guys butt heads, but great organizations keep damn good coaches. They keep the relationship. They keep the bond. It didn't happen. We moved on, right? But my point is Howie, I mean, I give Howie all the credit. I think Nick's a good coach. I can't say he's not. Like, I don't think he's a bad coach. He's a good coach. But to get to the level of Doug, he's got to win something here. But Howie is the architect of getting himself back out of the closet again. That's what he did. I mean, he's back out of that room again. He had a few bad years. He struggled, right? He struggled draft-wise. He made some mistakes. And boom, he gets it back. He does it all the time. Nick, Sweeps, boys, I don't think there's a guy in football that can do this as consistent as he does. He'll make a mistake for 2 or 3 years, and his team's right back on the map. I don't think anybody does it. Nobody
digs himself out of his grave, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Guy really digs himself out of his grave.
Nobody hires head coaches as well over the last 2 decades as Jeffrey Lurie has. Nobody. Nobody in the league outside of just having Belichick there forever. Like, nobody's hired better coaches or Tomlin, right? Besides Belichick, Tomlin, nobody's hired better coaches in the 2000s.
And Pittsburgh doesn't count because they've had 3 coaches in like Dad's lifetime. That doesn't count. They don't count.
There's one bad hire. There's one bad hire in that from 2000.
And guess what? That the bad hire won the division the first year.
Yeah.
And the bad hire drafted Lane Johnson.
Yes. And Fletcher Cox.
Also, I know I want to put this out now, but you brought him up, so it's a good question. But we will run this. Is Lane Johnson best offensive lineman in Eagles history?
Because of the records,
He might be. He might be.
Most impactful.
Yeah.
I mean, I
throw Peters in there though. I mean, Peters was a bookend left tackle for God. You know what I mean? For his whole time here.
I mean, it might be Bednarik, but he's both ways, really. But I mean, I think it's like tackle.
Trey and Runyon.
Runyon.
Trey and Runyon were great, obviously.
I think Lane's better than Runyon.
I'll give Lane every nod.
John.
I'll give Lane every nod because he's got a Super Bowl ring here, right? So Lane gets nods because he's got a ring. He got over that hump. He's part of that hurdle. He's elite. And the record off the field. Not that the record off the field with Runyon isn't the same, right? Anytime you take out a great right tackle, your records are dropped. But we know, no Lane, we might lose to that.
Oh,
no matter if everybody else is playing. It's amazing.
Most impactful, I might say yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like, because Kelsey might be the best offensive lineman, I guess you could say, but tackle, I think I would give it to Lane. And Kelsey's a top 5 Eagle. Kelsey's a top 5 Eagle of all time.
I don't know how he's not.
And if we win a Super Bowl this year, he might be top. He might be number 1.
No, if he wins 2 Super Bowls, he's number
right
1.
over the sunset too.
No, I mean, if Jason Kelsey wins 2 Super Bowls here, he's the most beloved athlete in Philadelphia sports history. I mean,
quite possibly. Especially after the speech after the first Super Bowl. I mean,
nothing matches it. Utley's, all the guys that are loved here, nothing matches 2 in our lifetime. Do we have 2 in any sport like that with the same guys?
We should.
We don't
even have 2 in any sport in our lifetime.
No, we don't. So you're talking about Lane, Kelsey, Fletcher, and BG. Those 4 guys who would have 2. Like, dude, if they even want to pick up a microphone like this the rest of their lives here in Philadelphia, they got a job because that's how much of a, you know what I mean, like a Mike Reese type. That's how much you can just do this the rest of your life. Because you're that beloved here. You're the 4 biggest winners we ever had.
Yeah,
and I think that's why we win it again. And I don't get ahead of ourselves.
It's literally the same
because of that.
It's the same reason that the Flyers from the 70s guys are still all over the fucking Philadelphia area because it's the same fucking thing.
Some we'd rather not see, but yeah.
Oh no, I totally agree. I'm just saying, but it's the same. It's the same concept. They won 2 Super Bowls back, or two Stanley Cups back to back. And fucking they walk on water.
And we're still trying to repeat them.
All right, Jake Elliott too. Jake Elliott, I forgot about Jake Elliott. But those 4 guys, I think that's why we get back there, and I think that's why we're going to win it again. It's because I think our 4 guys that have been there are the main leaders of this football team, and I think they're hungry for a freaking another one. That doesn't mean other teams aren't, but you have at least, now Grant, you play Casey or Cincy, you're playing 2 teams that have been to the Super Bowl, and know what it's like too, right?
Yeah.
So obviously you're going against that, but I think that's why it gives us an even better chance that our 4 still main leaders and voice in our locker room are still here. I think there's something to be said, the importance of that, right? Jake's not a leader, but we'll give him as our fifth because field goal kicking is pretty important. So
And then
especially
if we get
Dallas will show you.
we get the job done. If we can get the job done, then that game, watching that second game next week, is a wild game because it's, you're either going to see the Bengals and then maybe the new up and coming best QB, try to take the mantle from Pat, or you're going against the guy that's the, quote unquote best QB in the world and dad, former dad coming in. I mean, that's the I know Sweeps predicted KC Philly. That's the game. That's the game. I don't know if KC can beat Cincy now with Mahomes banged up.
Well,
but
they didn't beat him in the regular season either.
KC Philly's the game.
Yeah, no.
Well, KC Philly sells. Philly sells
that's the game.
Because of Andy, obviously the Andy effect, the whole combo there. Who gets the extra one, right? So that becomes the conversation, right? Does Jeffrey get two, or does Andy get two first? Who gets their second one first, right? Because that's the little inner workings there that get revved up a little bit, right? Does Andy get his second before we get our second? Because we loved Andy even more after we won in 2017. Then we were rooting for him, right? Like, oh, guys, now it's cool. Go get one. You know what I mean? But if we didn't win one, I'm not sitting here saying, go get one, right? So we now, who gets their second one? I think that's going to be an interesting.
And that's it's going to be.
Team's got a lot of work to do to get.
Yeah, I was going to say that's an uphill sledding for them, especially just because he's a magician. Yeah, he's a magician. So he does everything. He does so much with his legs to escape sacks and get out and let guys. He throws guys open. And if he has to be a statue or then they're going to be extremely limited.
I mean, if he's like he was yesterday, they lose flat out. In my opinion, if he has to play like he played yesterday, where he can't really move around, they lose.
Yeah, no,
and I know. Sweeps was talking about that Bengals offensive line got covered up today, and like the biggest problem to me for them could be Jones.
Well, make sure you guys finish your players of the game too. I'm gonna go pay.
Oh yeah, I'll hop on mine. But yeah, I think that's KC's interior line play could really bother the Bengals next week. But that should be a great game.
But no, I agree with you, and I agree with you on both points. Because if they don't match points, Jags put up 20. So the Bengals should put up, at least.
Oh, Bengals are going to score.
Bengals, we're looking at a 31-30 game possibly.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And Pat's so good, but like you said, 50% of what he does is him moving around, making things happen with his feet.
Yeah.
And I mean, that high ankle sprain, that's a tough injury.
And it's not even, and to both of your points, it's not even so much the scrambling anymore and like the runs. It's just extending plays, waiting for someone to pop open.
Yeah,
right?
He's such a magician.
Early in the career, it was the killer 5 to 10 yard runs on third down that killed you. Now he's just starting to just stay alive in the pocket or be just behind the line of scrimmage and waiting for Kelsey to jump over.
Exactly.
He throws a submarine ball to the back corner of the end zone. It's like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, his ability to extend plays is what he does, So, and that's when you don't have to have superstars, So you can lose a Tyreek Hill because Pat makes the other guys better, So if he's at 50%, you obviously still have Kelsey, who's awesome. I feel like he's always open. Needless to say, 15 catches yesterday.
14, 15, whatever it was.
It's amazing. If I'm going down, I gotta press him. I gotta press him. I gotta get my hands on him. I gotta press him. I gotta press him, and I gotta get my hands on him. And I'm not saying that's going to work, but I'm surely not letting him, run free or.
Yeah, we're surely not just going to let. I mean, you got to let someone else. Someone else has to beat you. You can't let him catch 20 balls. I mean,
no. All right, well, offensive player of the game.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go.
Tommy went with DeVonta.
I was a little critical of him earlier, but a little whiny into a big game. AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, definitely ended the game, but he was key on that first or that second touchdown with DeVonta. I mean, he paved the way.
Listen, he's been a great blocker all year.
Yeah,
he's been a great blocker all year.
I love the pick.
I love AJ Brown. I don't like whining when you're dominating.
Yeah,
leave that shit in the locker room,
and especially when it's 2 out of the last 4 weeks. I mean, that's where you have a concern. You know what I mean? So, the Saints game, it was Minshew's fault. And very well might have been. You know what I mean? But terrible body language in that game.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And the end of the game yesterday didn't look good either. So
it's a 38-7 playoff win. I can't have that kind of body language.
That's all we're saying. So
and defensively, I'm gonna say Tommy went with Reddick. Is that who he went?
No, Tommy.
No, he went He went CJ GJ. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go Reddick just because he's been all over the field, and I expect him to be all over the field again. Give me 2 sacks, son.
Yeah, 1.5 this week, so he's probably on pace for it. 40 boy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who knows if Kelsey has any thought on coaching at all. I don't know.
Yeah, he might just want to go get drunk and see.
It's gonna be definitely.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be an adjustment regardless of who comes in.
Guy's been the man for years, man. He's the lineman whisperer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I love when they say Jordan Mailata Stoutland you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. I'd probably lean towards. For me, this is a Hurts game. This is a Hurts game. You know what I mean? The young quarterback coming in, the young rookie coming in. This is a game to puff your chest out and get those. I understand what last night was, and like you guys alluded to earlier, he wasn't great last night. He didn't have to be great. You know what I mean? So, everything else was taken care of. But this is a chance where you might be able to flex a little bit, show why you might have been, why you were in the top 3 of the MVP race all year, and put this Eagles, offense on your back, and get your team to the Super Bowl. So for me, it's
love it.
It'll be Hurts, and Josh Sweat for 2 sacks. I'll take the Sweat.
I love it. He's another guy that's been monster.
Coming on.
Yeah, he's been great.
It's just so good to see him back on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was surprised he didn't break his arm. He hit him so hard.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Murdered that.
Come down with that strip. I love that.
I'm going to go with a guy we talked about earlier. He's had a great season. He's looking for a contract. I'm going to go Miles Sanders. I think Miles could have a big day. He had a really good day yesterday. And I think we're going to be able to run the ball. So I'm going to go Miles. He gets in the end zone this week, and he pushes that 100 barrier. I don't know if he gets over there, but he pushes that. He's 75 plus. That's where I'll go with a tutty. And then on the defensive side, Sweat, Reddick, CJ, GJ. I'm going to go. I want to go with my son.
I was going to say, go with your boy for double-digit tackles.
Yeah.
All over the place.
Go with my son, TJ. I think he's going to be big again, with Kittle in the middle. Between him and Kaiser, whoever's guarding Kittle is going to be huge. And then, obviously, with CMC and the things they do with CMC and Debo, as Will, you pointed out earlier, they love those short, intermediate stuff. And that's where, again, Kaiser and TJ got to be there. So I'll go TJ.
That's probably a really good call, Greg, because like Speech was saying earlier, I would assume they're going to try to get the ball out of Purdy's hands quickly and into, McCaffrey, Samuel, Ayuk, Kittle's hands, and trying to get them in space. So going to need really good tackling out of our linebacking front 7, but mainly our linebacking core.
Yeah. And realistically, on that defense, if you could have picked anybody in the secondary, right? Because I think they're going to have to come up huge again, like they did last night, right? You had Bradberry get the pick. You didn't hear Slay's name, but Pete, which is great, right? Yep. You know what I mean? That's when you know a quarterback is playing great when you don't hear him.
Yep.
And so, I know those two were the talk going into the game, just because they seem to struggle a little bit as of late towards the end of the year. But obviously, when the lights turned on, playoff football, those guys were balling last night. And again, it doesn't help when you're up 14, 21, 28, nothing. And you gotta ease your job easier job down the stretch. So, Will, you had 4 sacks. Sweeps, you had 3. So, Willie, if you have Reddick getting 2, where are your other 2 coming from?
Let me get Sweat with 1 and Hargrave.
Okay. Sweeps, you had 3, and I think you said Sweat gets 2. Where's your other one coming from?
Reddick. Yeah, Reddick.
Yeah, I got Reddick for – I think Reddick – yeah, I got Reddick for 2. I was at 5, so I got Reddick for 2. We posted this to our social. It's crazy what BG did in 12 snaps, right? You know what I mean? And that's awesome, too, that we have, again, when we go back to look at what won us in 2017, our defensive line had 2 really good foursomes that were able to come in there and still wreak havoc, right? So I go BG, Reddick with 2, BG 1, Sweat 1, and I'll give Fletch 1.
Fletch had a good game yesterday.
Fletch
was throwing people around.
Yeah, he was.
I think an interesting, with all the other, outlining storylines, which all the other sexy things, I think an interesting, let's say, matchup or maybe a key to the game for the Niners and the Eagles on the defensive end could come in the slot. Juwan Jennings isn't a scary guy, but he's a pretty good receiver. And I know, unless Maddox comes back, that's where Eagles, had some worries this year. Some concerns on the back end. Guys, run around after the slot guys. So.
I noticed 2 things yesterday really evident, right? CJ Gardner-Johnson was playing the slot, and he was really active.
Yeah.
And that was Richie James. And I agree with you. I think Richie James and Juwan Johnson are probably very similar in skill sets and can be an X factor because you figure Ayuk and Samuel are going to be Slay and Bradberry, right? So you're right. You got that slot. To worry about. And then the other thing I noticed too, I don't know if anybody caught this. There was no Quez Watkins sighting yesterday. There was Zach Pascal in the three wide receiver lineup.
Well, Quez played a little bit, but you're right.
Quez played a little bit.
Zach
it was Zach
more.
in the playoffs.
Zach played more, yeah.
Zach played more. So
well,
it
guess
was very
what?
interesting
Zach's
to me.
a damn good blocker.
No, and he's a damn good football player too.
He's a tough guy. He's a resident tough guy.
But I caught those things in a scenario like, hey, it's playoffs. We're gonna want the guys that we know we could trust out there. And not that Quez is barren to the bench, but you noticed in a must win in a playoff game, who was out there.
I wouldn't be shocked if you see a little more Quez because I think I was saying earlier, I think you can beat San Fran deep. This game coming up could be more of a Quez game. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get a lot, maybe 10 to 12 snaps.
Sure.
I think I only saw him in for 3 or 4. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm
trying to pull the snap count up right now.
Wasn't many.
It wasn't. I thought it was less, but when it had the snap count.
But yeah, I really do think that they could definitely beat San Fran over the top on Sunday.
Yeah, here we go.
Well, that's the thing.
Quez Watkins had 22 snaps.
Oh, wow. More than I thought.
They had way more than I thought.
We also took a lot of snaps.
Yeah, well, we did.
That's true, too.
Two 8-minute drives.
Pascal was 24. So I guess early on it was more prevalent, and then probably as the game went on, they were like, all right, let's put Quez in the game.
Well, what do we do?
Early on, it was prevalent that Zach was there over Quez.
Well, better run blocker, too.
Yeah. First three receiver sets.
Yeah.
He was in.
Yeah, and he's a better run blocker, too.
Oh, by far.
And in a game like this, where you got to be able to block linebackers and you've got to be able to do things like that, I think Quez, that's all right. I think Zach gives you a little bit of a better option, obviously.
Yeah, for sure.
And a guy, like Greg said, a veteran, you probably trust more. I mean, look at a lot of interceptions have came, the balls targeted to Quez Watkins. And they watch tape. So like we sit here and act like they end their job, like that we do more we do more with their job than they do, right? But they watch a lot of tape, right? And we notice even if your head coach is an idiot, they all watch a lot of tape, right? So they all see it. They adjust to it, etc. So credit to the Eagles for splitting that time up a little bit more. and saying, you know what? Because I'd be interested to know how many Equeza snaps came when you're up 28-0, right? How much less of Zach did you see?
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be interesting to know. But at the end of the day, you play guys you trust. You play
I
guys
didn't realize that. So we ran 70 offensive plays because Mailata played the whole game. He played every snap.
Yeah, he looked like he got banged up a couple times too.
Blankenship played the most snaps on defense at 48, and that was 92%. So what's another 8%? What's another 8% of snaps?
Well, that made sense.
50s, right?
I mean,
About
that's
54 snaps.
54, 55.
Well, it
so.
made sense because you were telling me after I said that, you said that Gardner was running the nickel last night.
Yeah.
I did see that. I just didn't know how prevalent it was, and you'd still rather have him on the back end.
Sure.
No
question.
But I understand that at least they made some adjustments because they understood that Josiah Scott's just not going to
not play Josiah Scott in the playoff game.
Don't play Josiah Scott. So I get it.
Yeah, which is interesting, that you would play an undrafted rookie. You have more faith in that. It's interesting. And it's interesting to take a guy who leads the league in picks from a spot that he's been so successful at too.
That's why I was a little confused. Yeah,
I still don't like it. I'll be honest with you. I still don't like it.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like Reed. I think Reed can play. I just think, you're hurting two positions to try to help one, because I do believe CJ is a better safety than he is a nickel guy, because most nickel guys get exposed. Most nickel guys in this league, it's hard. It's probably the hardest position in sports to play. When you get put back there this deep into a year, I think it's even harder. Where a guy like Avante, he's played there his whole life. So if he is hurt and comes back, he's at least used to it a little bit, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
Nickel's so tough.
That's what I was alluding to while you were paying. That's where I thought an interesting matchup, could occur. Like, not Juwan Johnson's not scaring anybody, but with that was the Eagles' one Achilles heel. With Maddox being out,
they go to him a little bit too, Sweeps.
Yeah,
Jennings, right?
Screw Jennings for a second. They'll probably put Jennings.
He's kind of a big boy too.
Yeah, they probably put him more on the outside and let Debo work a lot more from the slot too. So either way you look at it, it becomes matchup problems a little bit, right? I mean, Debo is a matchup problem for anybody. In the slot, he's even more of a matchup.
Yeah, you got to get him to the ground.
But that's why
he's a moose.
Personally, I think Josiah is a little bit faster than CJ, probably, and I think CJ's faster than Reed. So I think you give yourself a little bit more speed out there when you're talking about guys who fly around like they got, right? So to me, I think that's where I'll go this week, but they're not going to. Jonathan made his decision the second he moved him there, that that's what he was going to do. Hence why I'm not Mr. Jonathan Gannon. But I want to tell Coach Nick Sirianni something. You were quick to, I'll take shots at Angelo Cataldi all day, but you were quick to take shots at Angelo in your post-game presser because of his comments, concerns, critiques of Jonathan Gannon. That's cool. That's the Giants, right? That's the Giants. So keep that same energy this week if Jonathan Gannon's even doesn't get it done, God forbid, right? Against a seventh-round quarterback, because I want to keep reiterating those words. Mr. Irrelevant, who's a rookie, who's also a rookie. The number one pick of the draft, the top 5 pick of the draft, could be coming to town, and I say they should not win an NFC title game. I'll say about any rookie quarterback ever drafted, I would say it shouldn't happen. Right, boys? It shouldn't happen yet.
I mean, has it?
I don't know, has it? I don't know. I'm sure it has.
Marino's second year, Sweeps?
No, rookie year.
Was it rookie year?
Yeah, 84.
It doesn't disrespect the Brock.
They lost.
He's special.
Title, right?
He's kind of special. Yeah.
Yeah, no disrespect to Brock, but I'm not gonna go there. Right. So there's.
I mean, first off, talk about guys that would thrive now. I think he might be even better now.
Yeah. The last time it happened was 2009 with butt fumble. The wheels fell off in Indianapolis. Colts beat them 30-17. 2009, Dirty Sanchez was on a little run as a rookie.
Yep. Great defense.
Yeah, great defense.
I think
Tomlinson, great defense, absolutely.
I think
Ryan, right? That was Rex
I think
team.
Flacco as well and Roethlisberger as well, and they both lost in the championship also, right? Flacco as a rookie went to the AFC Championship, and Roethlisberger as a rookie went to the AFC Championship.
Okay. Good spinning images in terms of great defenses, right? We talk about all those teams and what they had, but at some point, that great defense, unless it's like we talk about, unless like 85 Bears, right? Like you got to make plays. You can't turn the football over. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if they take care of the football too, then this game might come out and get closer than 4 points, right? So that's the big key for both sides, obviously, when you come into any football game. But can they keep our offense off the field? You've seen the biggest Achilles heel of us in our losses has been teams coming in and sort of taking it to us early, right? And keeping us off the field early, not letting us get into a rhythm like any good team does. And if that does happen, are we able to withstand the storm of it? Because you got to expect their first 15-plus plays are going to be well-scripted, well-designed, well practiced and ready to go. So you're going to get their best there. And we talk about every matchup. I know Sleep's talking about it early. First couple of drives, so important. So important for both ways because you find out too. Because I said this week, if you stop the Giants' first 15, night, call it a season for New York, right? Because that's the best they're going to be able to come out with. Okay? San Fran, obviously, that's their best. They'll have good shit after that too, right? But same factor in mind. If you come out and their first 2 or 3 possessions are goose eggs, well, you hold all the cards, okay? Right? You do as a defense because you've seen their best shot. You've seen what they designed thinking they can beat you with, right? All week long. So if you withstand that defensively, that's the difference in the game right there. Now you got to obviously score something. You got to have 6 or a 7-piece. You got to have something yourself. You don't want to be 0-0 because then you're like, not what I wanted today. But either way, you can't go into this not expecting a dogfight. But my Philly faithful, hit the like, hit the subscribe, stay with us because this would be the total Philly thing to happen, right? To say it's a Philly thing, right? Yeah, it's a Philly thing. That's the phrase. That's a slogan. Okay, it's a slogan now. This would be a Philly thing, right? Those days are fucking over. Those Philly things. It's a new type of Philly.
Don't bring it up. Yeah,
I'm bringing it up. It's a new Philly thing where this kind of cute Cinderella bullshit doesn't happen on our watch. That's the new Philly thing. Not on our watch. That's an old Philly thing. Not the new one, Wells.
I hope you're right.
We won a championship with a backup fucking quarterback, right? Those days are over. On us having those things happen to us. The curse ended. The curse ended that day, Brian. You know it did. The day the curse ended. The curse of the snowball. The curse of the Santa fucking snowball for the ugly Santa Claus. The curse ended that day, Brian, in 2017. It ended. It ended against the Patriots, against the dynasty, the big bad wolf.
I'm right with you.
It ended for us.
I'm right with you.
We don't no longer have to think like Greg used to think. Look at Greg. He flipped the switch. It was a curse of Greg Milanovic.
It was.
He flipped the switch in 2017. I mean, the guy always thinks we're going to win now. Never thought we would win a game. He had us win one game that year. You're going to win a Super Bowl.
Definitely didn't have us win any when Nick took over. That's for damn sure.
No, so you guys got to put it to bed. Brian, put it to bed. It's over.
It's in bed. It's in bed.
Don't open that closet. That door is
not open.
Shut. All right? It's over. It's like when Boston ended theirs. The curse of the Bambino, the Billy Goat. All right? The Cubs, all the things, all the curses, when they end, It's over. You don't have to think that something bad's always going to happen to us. Those days are over. You thought it last week. After you came on here and you said roll job, you started backpedaling and backtracking because you fell into your old habits of assuming something bad was going to happen.
I knew we were going to beat the Giants.
No, you still fell into
I
a habit.
said 31-20. I said 31-20, but I knew we were going to beat the Giants.
I knew what you said, but you also got a little concerned through the week. Just admit it.
No.
A little.
I wasn't concerned. I was not concerned with the Giants. I was not.
There was proof of you being a little concerned.
No, I was not at all.
You said a bunch of times that you better not lose to them.
Oh well, that was just a flat out. You better not lose to that because
Okay.
I just couldn't take. I wouldn't be able to take it. I had to kill myself, and I don't want to do that.
Hey, never fun.
Never a good time.
Never
That's
fun.
like when people were asking, like, why did Wilson kill himself? He never had those kind of tendencies. Like it's the Philadelphia Eagles' fault. 1,000%. Sue them. But yeah, now we're past that. Now we're good. We don't have to worry about that.
No,
I expect a very tough game though. Like we're not. This is. I think we're going to win this game, but this is going to be a fucking tough game. This is one of those games. This is a hard hat game. Pack your lunch. Bring your fucking hard hat.
Yum.
The strongest, toughest team wins this game. This game's won in the trenches.
Yeah.
Yum, patrol.
We won't not have a lead in this game. We will not trail in this football game. Hammer at it. Nail that in.
I might bet that now.
We will not trail in this football game. Never trail. We might not trail the whole postseason. It's going to be like, what a run. Like, what a smooth sail. What a smooth sail to Broad Street. We'll play KC or Cincy. Never trail. Never trail. Never trail, never fails. Here we are, Broad Street. Oh, my God. We might win it. We might win the freaking.
Christ. If that happens, we're gonna have to give Hurts the biggest contract ever.
Oh my God!
I saw.
I'll sew his jersey. I'll sew his goddamn jersey to my body.
Rob Body was talking about today. At first, he was thinking,
"You're gonna get a tattoo."
No, just a jersey.
Hurts tattoo. I think I heard Hurts tattoo in my ear. That's what I heard. Wow, Tommy just said he'd get a Hurts tattoo. I heard it.
If he wins the Super Bowl,
yeah,
sure.
Okay,
sure. I'll dabble.
Tattoo. We want to make a tattoo bet?
Producer.
Yeah, I'll make a tattoo bet,
Guess
but
what?
I'm not.
Guess what? I'm not
putting it somewhere weird.
Yeah, I'm not getting like a guy's name on my body. I will get an Eagles tattoo if they win the Super Bowl this year. I'll join you. If you want to get one, we won't have to get it together. It's not like a gay thing. There's anything wrong with that.
I mean, shit.
I will get an Eagles tattoo if we win the Super Bowl this year.
I will go to the parlor with you.
Stamp
it. Parlor me up. I'm in.
Parlor up.
But I'll just get a tattoo in a normal spot too. Like, I'm not getting Jalen's face on my ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm getting anything crazy.
Some of these guys.
I was thinking like an Eagles design on my shoulder.
Yeah, and I'm anti.
I don't want to put that tattoo guy through that anyway. Hey, buddy, you got a tattoo on my ass. He's like, yeah. I went in today thinking, I can't wait to tattoo your ass.
I need to get
hell of a canvas, sir.
I need to get into the team tattoo. I don't have any. I've always felt weird about getting one, but you know what? As part of it, because we've always been,
we won our second Super Bowl. I think
I've always been a stepbrother. Yeah, we've always been like a stepbrother. I think it's time for me to change my stripes a little bit here.
Stripe it up.
You know what I mean? I need to climb up. I need to rise up. I need to rise up myself. Rise up.
Feels good on the body, bro. Feels good on the body, man.
I was going to say, I know Snoop's got one.
Yeah, they've been in the playoffs ever since.
When I got mine, my buddy told me, why don't you just buy a fucking T-shirt? And I said, hey, well played, sir.
Yeah,
I like it. Tattoo pen. I like it.
I'll get like the Tyson tattoo on my face of Jalen Hurts. Everybody would love that one.
Tigers don't like cinnamon.
2 in 5 years. That doesn't sound to yell people. But no, I mean, Wells, I do think this is a trip we've been down before, and I think it's a trip we're doing again in the near future here. I do. I think there's something different about this football team. I think it's a great mix of young guys and veteran guys. A coach who players obviously like and love, and I think it matters, even though we think he's nerdy at times and he's quirky. And he told the ref he knows what the fuck he's doing.
He is definitely nerdy and quirky. I like that. I like that. I know what the fuck
You're
I'm
right,
doing.
Tommy. They play for him.
They play for him, and that's what matters, man.
I want to make a T-shirt.
Doug, even though Doug was like a football guy, Doug was nerdy and quirky too, and took him for vanilla ice cream. So it's not like it's
do we have a new T-shirt? thing? Do we have a new A2D T-shirt guy yet?
Yes.
I think we need to make a T-shirt that has Sirianni's face that says, "I know what the fuck I'm doing." A2D Radio. Stamp it. Don't steal that idea.
You own it.
Own it. We own it.
Send it to me. Send it to me. I do think the Eagles.
I think it's a great shirt, and because I as much as I think that Sirianni's quirky and he's strange, the guys do love him, and I love I know what the fuck I'm doing. I love that.
Oh, I'm a fan of it.
I'm a big fan of that.
People out there online aren't. They think,
people online
thinks he's a tough guy.
Shut the fuck up.
Guy couldn't talk in his first presser. Now he thinks he's a tough guy. No, maybe he got comfortable and that's who he is. Yeah. Right? It's his first presser as a head coach. You're
the one seeing the NFC. You're the one seeing the NFC. Act like it. I like it. That's acting.
Chip Kelly's introductory press conference made you rubbed yourself for fucking months. I was just rubbing my body. I don't know if Gabe's was good or not. I just assumed it was.
Well, I'm just saying they were good talkers.
Nothing good about Gabe.
Nothing good about
Gabe.
I'll be the first one to tell you I never gave Gabe a chance.
Nope. No.
But rightfully so, because I knew from the get-go that he was a fucking weird.
Photos. Yeah, I saw some early photos.
As soon as he references Luis Garcia in your opening press conference.
No, he didn't even need to go there. I saw photos.
Skinny jeans, no shirt, skinny jeans. I think I saw a couple.
Yeah, there was a no
couple
shirt.
Of those pics. Yeah, a couple pics. Yeah.
Some weird things going on, and with those weird things equaled me checking out. So, and players probably did the same.
100%.
Coach's a fitness model. I'm good.
I'll quote one of my best friends in the world, Andrew. No, your manager should never be in better shape than the players. Fact.
It's good philosophy.
Yes.
It is. I've never known big league managers to be, physically fit. You expect a little belly at that point in your career. Right? Because you're getting after it.
Honestly, I don't want a physically fit manager. I want the belly.
You know what the belly tells me?
The belly tells me he's there. He's there working. He's having a couple beers and he's going over tape.
Belly tells me a lot of tape. A lot of fast food, a lot of sips, right?
Yeah, a lot of sips. Exactly.
So I mean,
kind of guy I want. If you're telling me that Gabe's out there running poles, I don't need you running poles, okay? I don't need you running poles. I need you fucking back there looking at the fucking film for next pizza.
My manager's in the weight room before I am in the mornings. Like, how's he the first guy here in the weight room? You know what I mean? I don't like that. I mean, that rubbed me the wrong way.
Is he running? Is he running stadium steps?
Fucking everyone.
Not take pride in your body. I'm just telling you, I don't need my manager. I want to know my manager and is working hard, and a dead giveaway he's working his ass off is a belly because it equals a lot of things. And maybe a little smoker's voice too. Tell me he's just chain smoking in the clubhouse because he doesn't leave.
I'm fine with him. I'm fine with him even being petitioning to be able to smoke in his office. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with it.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you want to do that, we'll put in a little system for you. Let's go.
We'll put a system in.
Yeah. We'll put a system in. Let's go.
Can I smoke indoors?
Couple Lelands? Go ahead. Throw it in.
Is it 1980s? Can I smoke indoors, please?
Yes.
Oh, I love the vetting system that you just made up. He's not gonna be a hot pot. We got a vet. We got a great vet.
We're gonna start our own new cigarette vetting system just for your office.
Sucks it out. Smells brand new. You use Febreze in here?
She's gone from suck to blow.
Oh man. And Robbie Thompson's a worker. You can tell by the body.
Oh, absolutely.
You can tell Rob's a worker. Right. All right, well, let's get to something.
The ventilation system pre-Jay's elbow room.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's not Jay's elbow room.
Well, so Giuseppe's best 12.
Jay's elbow room.
You can still smell it in there.
I'll tell you what, Giuseppe's was a lot of things. Giuseppe's was a lot of things. Giuseppe's was a lot of things. Jay's elbow room is worse than Giuseppe's though.
Okay, but we were in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been all over Giuseppe's. I've been everywhere in that entire building.
Brian's DNA's all over that place.
I've been over that building. There's like a small underground railroad type place underneath. You ever been down there? Woo-hoo. That place was a little creepy. It legitimately had dirt walls. It used to be like the old where they used to store the old kegs. Yo, it was fucked up down there. I went down there a couple times.
I haven't dabbled down there. I was everywhere else.
Yeah, it was fucked up down there.
That's the VIP. The VIP.
That was
the VIP room. VIP room.
2 shots get you a tour. Take you back in olden days. Give you a little history of the area.
That was like, when you walked into the kitchen, Tommy?
Yeah.
The sink and everything would be to your left right there. There was like a little hole down below the sink. That's how you got down there.
Oh,
it was a little aggressive down there.
Yeah, because I would always worry about that not opening back up on the top. You know what I mean? That'd be my luck. That thing, I go down there myself to grab something. Nothing back up.
What happened to Tom? He must have left. Nobody goes down there anymore.
Yeah,
Find Tommy's skeleton like he's fucking Chester Copperpot.
That's some Anne Frank shit. I mean, holy Christ! Wow, a fucking hole in the floor. Jesus. Wow. Escape route.
Well, Sixers 5 in a row on the road.
Sixers have found their stride.
They really have. I mean, obviously, Joel and Harden have been phenomenal together. I think Doc, obviously, this all gets judged at the end of the year. But I think, Doc's done a great job this year, especially with a lot of moving parts injury-wise. No Harden for a month plus, no Maxey for a month and some change. You lose those types of guys. It's not easy in this league. They withstanded all that stuff. And, as it is right now, it doesn't matter. But it's all you can go off of is they're second in the East right now.
They always say you get one tattoo, you want a second one. If I have to get the Eagles one, if the Sixers win, I'll get a Harden tattoo.
Oh, no.
Because I hate you know how much I'm not like James Harden? I got to say, the kid is really turning the corner on James Harden as a game manager and distributor. I am really a fan of. I can't lie. I'm really a fan of this James Harden right now. I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like, have I died and gone to fucking heaven or something? Somehow I like James Harden now. I don't know what's going on, but I really enjoy it. And as long as it doesn't revert back to Mr. I'm going to take a bad shot constantly, I don't see it changing.
I agree. I tend to agree with you here. I think he's been really good.
And I've never liked James Harden, ever.
A lot of ink being thrown around here tonight. Wow.
I know. Kids getting ink.
Ink master.
If you're asking, it will not be on my neck. I don't believe in neck tattoos.
Well, I do think they have a really good shot. Obviously, health's the biggest concern. Like I brought up earlier, DeAnthony Melton, I think, has been like an under the radar great signing for the Sixers. Their bench has been awesome. Shake's been really good. He always could score. I think he's up to this game scoring wise. Doc's giving him minutes, which I think is awesome too. Even when everybody got back, he's still getting 16 to 20 minutes a night because he is an instant offense guy off your bench, which they needed. I like them starting Melton and bringing Maxey off the bench because now Maxey
beat me to it.
Because Maxey and Shake, I think, are a great combo. They're boys too.
How about you just unleash Maxey in the third quarter? I love it.
I love what they're doing.
I feel like the first half is Harden gets 10 assists in the first half, and most of them are 14-foot jumpers for Embiid, and he makes it every time. I don't think he doesn't even hit the rim. He doesn't even hit the rim. He literally makes it every time out hitting the rim. That 14-foot jumper from right around the foul line, a little bit to the right or left of it. He makes it every time. He makes it every fucking time. And to the Beard's credit, he's getting it to him constantly in a great spot to shoot. And then even if we're in tough games, we saw it in this West Coast trip. Every time the third quarter starts, Maxey comes in and Maxey just runs to death. And Maxey it's the change-ups between Harden, slow down, get the ball to Embiid, and then Maxey coming in and running wild. It's crazy. We're like two different teams. we really have found our stride. And a month ago, I was saying, I don't know, well, they're going to do something because we're not good enough. I don't feel that way anymore.
Little thunder and
Don't
lightning.
feel that way anymore.
Yeah, a little thunder and lightning action.
It's beautiful to watch. It really is.
It is. It really is. I think Doc's done a great job. I think our defense, our perimeter defense, has been really good. You know, Melton's a damn good defender. They call him Mr. Do Everything. I feel like he does do a little bit of everything extremely, like very good, right? And obviously your starters, Tobias has been solid as that fourth guy. PJ has brought you the toughness you asked for. It's not showing up on stat sheets, but the physicality, etc.
He hasn't scored a point in 2 games.
But the defense is there.
But he's played well.
Yeah, like
if you ask me if he played well, I
that's
watched
what you
both
got him
games.
for.
I thought he played pretty well.
Yeah, that's what we got him for, right? We didn't get him to drop 20. Like we knew what we were getting. So, you know, we weren't getting by any means a stat stuffer.
and not that we care, and I know you guys alluded to that last night, and I couldn't agree with you guys more. But why do you think, you know, that we don't get it as much love as these other teams? You know, I think we're, you know, I'm not saying we're going to cut the nets down, but I feel, you know, but I feel we're playing tremendous basketball. I know you guys are, and I just feel like the national, you know,
kind of flying under the radar.
Yeah, is it like more because they just expect the same story? Like, you know, we're just going to lose in the second round. You know, like the national media.
Well,
you know?
I don't think the national
I think
media.
maybe we've been really hot recently, so maybe they haven't caught up yet. Sweeps, maybe.
Well, maybe, but I would say more of. I don't know if I don't think the national media as a whole really likes Embiid, Doc. You know what I mean? I don't know how the national media. You know, I'm not saying a certain host.
No, I got you.
You know what I mean? But I think by little things, just like the MVP voting, you know, that's came out through the year, where like Embiid's like 8th, right? Like you know what I mean? Like stupid shit like that, where you're like, are we watching the same shit? Because this guy's been nonstop dominant.
Yeah,
right?
no, and I mean, like, you know,
like it's weird. It's weird.
No,
Maybe Wilson's right. Maybe Wilson's right because it's been so hot over the last like month and some change that it's sort of gone unmissed.
2 losses. 2 losses
Yeah.
since December 8th, I think. Right?
No,
2 losses since December 8th.
I think that's
three.
a good point.
3 maybe.
I think that's a good point, and I understand, and I like, you know, Tommy's response as well. I just, you know, as far as like, you know, we know the dry jocks, those guys, they don't. Whatever they say doesn't faze me. I was just talking about recent comments I saw this week from, you know, ex-players that were pretty good in the league. You know what I mean? Just you know, just throwing out, you know, there are 3 or 4 teams in the East, and then he didn't even mention us. I'm like, God damn, bro. I mean, shit, playing well.
Yeah, not even a mention. Like I feel like there's got to be a mention.
Yeah.
No, I think
who are they talking? Who are they talking? Boston,
Boston Bucks, and the Nets. You know, when Durant, you know, obviously, you know.
Listen, Boston's obviously.
The Nets don't do nothing for me.
I know, I agree.
No, it's Boston, Milwaukee, and us. I mean, they're the 3 best teams, and you know, aside of Miami because it's.
I was gonna say, I think Miami maybe is probably the next team.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's where it's sort of at. You know, Cleveland's an interesting team.
Cleveland's tough, but I'm a guy as I feel like as Harden is kind of the guy that takes Harden's throne as the guy that takes terrible shots down the stretch games is Donovan Mitchell. So I can't wait for them to blow up in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's been well documented. You know, I will say this. You know, Boston's obviously the hottest team in the NBA, but like when you we talk about differentials. You know, they're plus 6.3. We're plus 3.9. You know, we won 5 in a row. We're 8-2 in our last 10. I mean, we played tremendous basketball. We're 13-9 away, 17-7 at home. So
4 losses since December 9th.
There it is. 4 losses since December 9th. Yeah, we played.
But when Christmas started, they've had what, 2 since Christmas? When we say it really,
no, those are the 4. The 4 has been since Christmas.
Well, I thought you said December 9th.
Well, yeah,
because you can go all the way.
That
back
was all.
to
They were all
9th.
wins though.
Oh, okay.
December 5th was our loss, and then from December 9th through yesterday, they've lost 4 times, but they've all been since Christmas. Washington, New Orleans, Chicago, and Oklahoma City.
Okay, crazy.
Yeah, and we blew 2 of those games.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way, I mean, December time, etc. They started playing their best basketball.
Yep.
They started to figure it out, and they had a lot of injuries. So no, I'm done. That's it.
First five game or more win streak on the road since 1984, I think they said.
And I hate to say this sometimes.
That's
too,
that's almost 40
crazy.
years.
Yeah, it's crazy. You said 1984, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. But I'll tell you this, the other side of it is, I think when these guys got hurt, it was like a blessing in disguise because it was early in the season, and you allow the minutes to come to guys like Melton and Shake, right, and really gain their confidence, and Niang, right? And then what happens is that not only ups the confidence of the coaching staffs to believe in you, it ups your own confidence as a player. It opens up the confidence of players around you. It's just a whole trickle-down effect because those three guys played really well when we had no Harden and Maxey.
Yeah.
Really well. Really well.
I think Trez, you can put Trez in there too.
Trez has been great.
Yeah,
Paul Reed's been a ton of energy when he's played. A little less fouling, a little more second chance points.
No, I think it's a good point because as much as we get frustrated, and I know I was at the top of it, we always, we always talk about, the season doesn't really start till after Christmas. You know what I mean? So, early on, you're like, it's the same story. These guys are getting on my nerves, yada, yada, yada. And then, we get some of those injuries and other guys filling in, and then those guys don't have to play. The injuries took away the air quote load management games. You know what I mean? So now they were, actually injured and we didn't need those days off. So when they come back, it's like, hey, let's go. Let's fire the and now you see them, strategically, like last night, getaway game.
Smart
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Getaway game. It's time for Joe and Beard to have a seat. And
I'm getting on a flight traveling all the way across country. And what I don't think people understand out there is the doctor side of shit where stuff flares up in the sky, right? So if you don't have to put pressure on somebody's foot, like a guy like Harden, who's coming off like a foot injury, right? And you don't got to put a night worth of pressure on that while getting back into the sky. That's a win. Same with whatever Joel has, right? Whatever the weekly Joel is, it saves a little bit of that. And you don't play again the Wednesday, so you steal a win. These guys fly out without putting pressure on any ailments to flare up. And you're off to Wednesday. I mean,
4 or 5 days off. 4 or 5 days off.
Yeah, I mean, Doc Rivers has been fucking tremendous. And it's because he had to trust his bench. They proved he can trust them, and now he trusts them. And I think and the Maxey injury was a blessing in disguise because now Melton played so well with the other starters that it's hard to take him out of that role, that they're forced to bring Maxey in as a sixth man. And like Will said earlier, that's been a home run. It's been a home run.
Big time.
So a lot of credit when you win like this, like, same with Boston. When you're winning like this, there's a lot of credit to go on. I'll say the same things I said about the Boston Celtics. They're awesome, but I still don't believe there's somebody that can stop Joel Embiid. So not saying I have guys to stop Tatum or Brown, but I don't know if you have a Joel stopper.
They had that little asshole that's always giving him a problem and was an asshole here in Al Horford. But Al Horford's got to be 40 now, right?
I just don't see how that works.
Somehow he's always giving Joe a problem.
I feel like that's got to end at some point, too.
I know, right?
Like another curse to get over. Like we beat him in the Eastern Conference Finals to get to the finals, and the Al Horford curse goes away of the horrendous signing it was.
To me, the biggest thing for the Sixers, like I expect them to continue to play well throughout the rest of the season, is we can, and I know this is a whole knock on wood and everything scenario, but can we get to the playoffs with Embiid healthy, please? For the love of Christ.
Oh, can I help that, Andy? Can I get through it?
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like every year, he's been hurt in the playoffs. Every year, I know last year it happened in the playoffs, but
and we're not winning here. We're not going to win a playoff series late rounds.
No, without him being healthy. Yeah, it's got
it's not realistic. So
yeah, that's just fact.
I mean, if he's healthy through a whole postseason, I say it every year, but he even gets better every year, different parts of his game. So now can he get better with the health side of it? Because if he's healthy through a playoff run, I don't think there's a chance his team doesn't go to an Eastern Conference final if they're healthy, right? If they're healthy, I mean, it's a big F. Big F, easy to say. But they had the makings of a really well built out roster right this minute. It looks to be that the pieces are fitting into this puzzle well.
So both teams, all three teams at full strength, you
would love to somehow get to that 1 seed.
You feel like they're better than those other two teams, or at least one of them.
I would love to somehow get to that 1 seed.
Got to be better than one of them.
Yeah, I don't know which one on a given day. I don't think we're better than Boston. I probably put my money on that we'd be better than Milwaukee, even though I do like Milwaukee. But I would say that Milwaukee's the team we're better than. I'm not going to say Boston because they're just that good. Even if they change coaches, doesn't fucking matter. They're still that good, so it tells you how good their talent is, right? Mm-hmm. So, and they're tough, they're physical. They're that tough team that can score 140 on you too. So they can play a bunch of different ways. So I would say that we're better than Milwaukee fully healthy because we've never seen a Joel fully healthy in the playoffs. So, whoever we played, we never gotten the full. It's not an excuse. It's the facts, right? I'm not trying to make an excuse. I'm done with it. I'm over it. I don't want to see it anymore. I agree with you, Wells. It's got to get put. That's also got to get put to bed this year. Like if you lose, fine, lose healthy, then I know you're not good enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. Then I just okay, I don't have this false sense of reality every year that if you stay healthy, we're going to go somewhere. So then just lose the second round when healthy, and then I know, okay, maybe it's time to move on from some things. Or maybe we should stop chasing whatever we're chasing, even though I don't believe that. But, I think you continue to chase while you can chase like you can. Because every year I think Maxi's going to get a little better too. So, I think you're in a good spot. And I know
he definitely hasn't been getting worse so far.
No, and his contract comes up. His contract comes up when Tobias comes off. So it couldn't be better timing in reality, right? So, but whatever. I mean, we can talk the future down the road. I mean, the right now feels good.
Oh my Lord.
We've been fooled before. I don't really care about seeding. I just want to be in the top 3 to 4, right? I want to end the top 3, 4 seeding. I mean, I would love to get the 1 again.
4.5.
What?
Back of 1.
4.5.
Would love to get to the 1.
4.5 games back.
Yeah, we're 4.5 back.
Okay. And you're 1 game above Milwaukee and Brooklyn, who are both tied.
And you play the Nets Wednesday night too.
You play the Nets Wednesday.
Okay, so good stuff.
4-game stretch at home. You got Brooklyn, Denver, and then Orlando twice.
Ricky Canucks hired Ricky Tocchet. Let's go.
Yeah, I saw that.
Love me some Ricky.
Also, I just saw Jerry speaking after the game. Wow, Jerry looked like the crypt keeper.
Yeah, I thought that earlier. I couldn't hear
Jerry looked like he was a step from the grave.
Yeah, the volume was on mute, but I was thinking the same thing. Like, I understand you're the figurehead, but go away. Just go away.
Maybe have your kid talk now. You're creeping on Al Davis territory.
Go away, man.
You're creeping. You're getting there.
No, but Sixers. Let's just hope it's not another full job. But I know that the eyes have been very honest with us. This is the deepest team we've had here, in my opinion. I think it's arguably the best one we've had here in our years of not tanking and going after it, right, guys? I think it's the best overall roster we've had. I think it's better than the Jimmy roster, even though Jimmy made that roster really good, right? But I think this roster is better than that. So,
well, yeah. I mean, as you said, it's the deepest probably.
The deepest,
right? when you could legit
still run top heavy like that one is too.
When you could legit run 4 guys off your bench. Between Shake, Maxey, Georges, and Montrez, and then you're not even getting into, all the other guys that bring stuff to the team
that you used to have to play.
Right, that you used to have to.
Yeah,
right? You used to have to go to Corky. You used to have to go to Paul Reed. Now those guys just come in and contribute when they have to or when they need to.
I tell you what, I feel like that you should be able to I feel like you should be able to ship Tease to a team in the West. Tease, I'm not sure that Tease has a spot on a team anymore.
I can answer that for you, but yeah.
What, that he doesn't?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I know, but I feel like you might be able to sneak a pick from somebody because of the fact that he plays he can be an agitator for Curry, for Lillard. Like if you're a West team that's pretty good, you can just get him as a straight agitator.
Yeah, a little Ruben Patterson type.
True, but you're not going to get the value he was in terms of a first round pick back.
Oh no, you're not. No,
Just so
but
you
I
understand
just mean
that. But
just to
yeah.
get something for him because I think
at this point, isn't he just an expiring contract?
I would take whatever back for him. You could give me a player back that can shoot a three, but I would also keep him. I would also keep him. I would also keep him because
single three.
But look what I have to. But look what I have to run through in the playoffs. Though, if you really look at it, right, I have to run through the likes of Brown and Tatum. All right, if I want to get to where I want to get to, or I got to run through a Middleton, a Drew, etc., or a Durant. Right, the list goes on. Right, guys, of wing guys that I would have to go through. Right, and I think he's a guy that's a nice thing to have for our own agitator. You know, we're talking about
you're right.
We're talking about agitating somewhere else. Fucking agitate here, dude, because you're going to get chances to agitate. They do bring him in for defensive stops, etc. I mean, that's all he's used for. But he's also been used in certain matchups too, Wills, to your point, where, you know, he's played maybe more minutes than he probably should. But I think he's that pure role defender.
Yeah.
And if you're going up against a guy like Tatum, you know, I think that's a guy. I think that's maybe not against Tatum, but against Brown, one of the two, he gets minutes. You know. So yeah. I mean, you have Tucker to really helps you with one of those guys every time. You know, Tucker's going to help you with Tatum. Tucker's going to help you with Middleton, right? Tucker's going to help you with Durant, right? I think it's nice to have another piece, and you know, because the Anthony Melton helps you more wing-wise, smaller guard play, right? Obviously, Kyrie's of the world, you know, Marcus Smart's of the world, Donovan Mitchell's, Drew Holiday's. That's where I think his defense comes into play against those guys. And then obviously Joel's got the paint. It's a really good defensive team too, outside of James. You know, James is okay. He's just never going to bring you anything. That's why it's nice that you have four guys around him that play damn good defense. It's really nice.
He's gotten slightly better.
Yeah, well, you don't have a choice, right?
He used to be so bad.
Well, I would think now it's win at all costs, right? In his mind, that really cements your history as a player, right? Granted, your top 75, whatever they ranked you as, you're a tremendous, one of the all-time great per se scorers, right? That we've seen.
Sure.
Okay, but I think I do think the guy wants to win. I do think he's a competitor. I do think he's a smart basketball guy when you listen to him talk, right? The more he's been here and I've heard him before, my outside perception of was him, right? And I do think he gets it, what it takes to win. And I think the bigger part of it is, you know, and not a lot of guys can do this, Wells, is his ego really got checked at the motherfucking door.
Yeah.
I mean, he did not.
To his credit.
He did not come in thinking this was anybody's team but the big man standing next to him. And you don't have to do that. Guys say they'll do it. It looks like they'll do it. But guess what? As the years going on, the 2 years combined, as they've gone on, his unselfishness with Joe and game with Joe has continued to rise. That tells me all I need to know where you are as a player.
They're working really well right now as a cohesive unit.
No, and you're spot on. But he had no choice. He's been the cancer everywhere he's been.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm just saying. You know what I mean? That's you know that's and you know everything you said was spot on. Just you know, so maybe he did, like you said, maybe he did some growing up. You know what I mean?
Well, discount.
He's been the issue. He's been the issue everywhere he's been.
Discount. Well, think about discount. You know, he took a discount. Probably could have got a bad team to give him a ton of money. You know, bad teams give guys tons of money all the time.
Sure.
Somebody would have, so he didn't have to. So it tells me he wants a ring, right? And he bought into what Doc and Sam told him early on in the year, right? This is a dictatorship here. And a dictatorship to get him the ball first. The offense goes to him. So they said something along those lines, remember? Or before the season and like preseason. And guys don't have to buy into that. But he's played the offense through the big man, and he still gets his taste. And he still gets his beak wet enough. And he's still a damn good one-on-one guy. I mean, his dribbling is still unbelievable, you know, at this point of his career, too. He's tremendous at getting to where he wants to on the basketball court. And the pick and roll is so nasty because he can still get to where he wants to. So you have to say, well, I got to pick my poison here. And whatever way teams pick has bitten them.
And if we really need him to, he still can get his own shot.
Yes.
You know, he still gets his own shot if he wants to.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. All right, boys, you want to do crumbs and call it a call it a day?
Wrap it up. Rapito.
I'll go crumb first if you want me to. I got one ready to go.
Yeah, go ahead.
Mine's actually going to be, it's a little of both of Shannon Sharp / the NBA. Shannon Sharp, because just shut the fuck up. You're there as a fan. You shouldn't be getting into it with the players. And the reason I'm piggybacking it into the NBA being part of it is because if that's any other fan, first off, the NBA is having a conniption about how the fans allowed to yell at players like that. And he's removed and definitely not allowed back. He probably never allowed back in the arena again. Yeah. Otherwise, Shannon Sharp's allowed to return to his seat and watch the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That's an outrage. That's an absolute outrage to me. And the NBA should be getting scrutinized heavy for that because that's ridiculous. And Shannon Sharp, again, take the cardigan off and shut up. Just shut up. There's no reason for you to be yapping on the court, telling people to come over here. And as soon as Steve Madden walked over, you didn't want nothing. So shut up. Shut up.
Yeah, it's one thing to be all heckling and having a good time and just, but yeah, calling people over like you don't want none. Like, come on, stop.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And then he does an interview like it's WWE. He does an interview like at halftime backstage. Like John Morant's dad didn't want no smoke. Dylan Brooks didn't want no smoke. John Morant didn't want no smoke. He didn't say anything about Steven Adams, who was the closest one to you. Yeah. Surprisingly, you left that mammoth monster out because his fucking bend you in half. But also, what are you doing? And the NBA, the fact that you let him go back to his seat and watch the rest of the game, disgrace. He should have been thrown out of the arena.
Well, this is what happens, Wes. I'll tell you what happens in the media side of things. Where I'll give you my own little what I think insight on what happens is a guy like Skip Bayless, a guy like Shannon Sharp, right? They get hurt in the ratings, right? By whatever other bigger company or bigger fish is out there, right? And they're always getting hurt in the ratings. Somebody is. So when you're getting hurt in the ratings, you try hunting for stuff to put you back into the ratings, right? And to me, whatever transpired there was a total. I'm going to trend on social media to help our show out.
Oh, I mean, listen, I bet you tomorrow their show. I bet you their show is huge tomorrow.
Huge.
I mean, you're right on that.
Just like it was the day after Skip tweeted his bullshit out, right? Just that day. So while we're on the Buffalo Bills and Skip for a second, I'll give you guys my crumb. Okay, I'll tell you my crumb because this is two defensive guys who've made their careers and their livings off of supposedly being defensive gurus, and one Sean McDermott and one Leslie Frazier. They've made their careers off this. One Sean McDermott wasn't a good defensive coordinator here anyway. When he got the job here, okay, has underachieved his entire time in Buffalo. And I'm going to let you off the hook for Joey carving you up. I'm going to let you off the hook for that. But as two defensive guys, I would think at some point you guys would understand, at least you, Sean, on what helps your quarterback out the most. I would also like for you guys to do me a favor and step away from wherever you are and punch yourself square in the goddamn motherfucking face. I don't think you guys realize where you live right now. I want you to go look out your window and literally take your head off the glass on your front window. All right, take your forehead off your glass. I hope you don't die. Just take your forehead off your glass and feel the breeze because it's fucking cold there. It's snowing there. All right, and for you guys to have the audacity of the organization to run the ball. If I'm a Bills fan, that's how fired up I am. This is how I'd be on the air. Okay, I had the audacity to run the ball 11 times outside of your quarterback is the biggest disgrace to the game of football I've ever seen in my life. The biggest disgrace to the game of football I've ever seen because you don't even have a feel of your environment on where you play. You don't have a feel that it's cold weather. I have to do it enough to respect it. You live and die off of your quarterback and literally one legit big-time weapon on the outside. You have one legit. Gabriel Davis, good player, right? Dawes not good tight end. They're not elite like Stephon Diggs is. So you're putting all your eggs on one basket, your quarterback and Stephon Diggs. And if those two guys have bad days, you always lose. It's as simple as that, unless Gabe Davis goes off. Simple as that for the Buffalo Bills. But when you're talking, I don't want to hear the score of this football game. I don't want to hear shit in this argument. This is consistent. So you're talking about 11 times outside of Josh Allen's 8 rushes for 26 yards. You average 3.3 yards on the ground. Don't tell me Devin Singletary can't run through the tackles because I see him do it. Don't tell me James Cook, who's a rookie, can't do it because I've also seen him do it. Maybe not as well as Devin can, but I've seen him do it. So you play in a market that's going to be cold. You want everything to come through Buffalo, and at no point then if Devin couldn't handle the workload of 15 carries, at no point did you go get a guy who could. Okay, at no point. And I'm not Mr. Run the Ball all the time, right? You guys know me. But you got to do it enough. It's a disgrace to the game of football. It's two guys who've been around the game of football way too long that not have a better feel than that. And if I was a Buffalo Bills fan, I would actually be calling for Sean McDermott's head now. I'd be calling for, or the offensive coordinator, or whoever's philosophy. I would need to dive in and find out whose philosophy are we running offensively, because that guy's a fucking idiot. That guy's an idiot.
And it's a new one because that was Dable last year.
Yeah. Well, it's Ken Dorsey who's calling the play.
Yeah, it is Dorsey.
But it's been a philosophy. It didn't just start when
absolutely.
Dorsey called. Dable did the same shit. They threw the ball way too much. Way too much.
They see the arm and they get all giddy.
They get giddy. And I get it. He's got the bazooka. I understand it. You want to use it all the time. You got to help that dude out, man.
Yeah,
Today you did him no fucking favors. And at no point earlier in that football game were you trying to keep your offense on the field for a long possession. Like always, you guys were shooting for the big play every play. That's why they're going to be home.
And you're right, though, Tommy. Like, no part until like the fourth quarter was that game so out of reach to where you couldn't run the ball effectively.
No.
Like, to where, like, oh, we were down so big we had to throw. No. You were down 10 points most of that game, which is not big enough to where you can just totally abandon the run.
No, you're one drive away.
Yeah.
You dodged the bullet at the end of the half with the juggle, the Jamar Chase juggle. You know what I mean? That could have get, the ball did move. You know what I mean? But you dodged that bullet just to keep it at 10. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Back to Will's real quick before I do mine. Because I agree with you about Shannon Sharp. It's all like a WWE show. We'll just take it just a step further. John Moran's dad needs to go away too.
Great.
You ain't Allen Iverson's mom, and Donovan McNabb's mom.
Did want to tell you that?
That's my son. That's Campbell soup. I want
to tell you that.
Girl, your son's a grown man now, dude. Like, it's cute. If he was playing AAU and you're like, oh, you had to drive him there, and you didn't feel like going to the local bar to have a pop. You know what I mean? You had to watch. Okay, cool. He's a grown ass man now, dude. You can watch from TV, and even if you want to be at the game,
is his dad younger than me? Also,
I think so. I believe it's the immaculate. I believe it's the immaculate conception.
Because I saw they were like the guy in the sunglasses is John Moran's dad. I was like, is he?
Yeah, he's like
not his brother.
Yeah, he's like 15.
Did Tawana tell you that? Did she tell you?
I know Tawana didn't tell you that.
That's my best line.
Yeah, he gets the money.
In Allen Iverson history, is the best line ever. Is when his mom went off the reporters. Did Tawana tell you that?
Yeah, I mean, but there's no reason for him to be over there. All right, I don't care what you're doing. Like, let those guys take care of it. Shannon Sharp's in the wrong, and and that's just it is what it is. So if the players want to walk over, absolutely. But
relax,
that guy, sit down in your
ball.
skinny jeans, man. Sit down in your skinny jeans.
Sit down. Take the sunglasses off.
Yep.
While you're inside, we've gone over this before.
Yeah, bro, you're rich forever.
two kinds of people wear sunglasses indoors: blind people and assholes. Let's go. Let's
get it, bro.
Lock it in.
We get it. You're gonna be rich forever.
We get it. Your son's good at basketball. Lock it in. Watch the game.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sweeps.
Yeah, mine is Kansas basketball. Everybody loses. That's the first time TCU has ever won in Lawrence ever. And it's the worst. So everybody, like I said, everybody loses. Everybody stubs their toe. But you lost by 23. It's one of the it's tying the largest home loss by a top 2 team ever in the AP poll history. Wow. AP poll's been around a long time. So yeah, you got woodshedded at home, and it was just
a few weeks.
Bill Self,
might use Kansas tomorrow. So hope Bill's got a good.
That's what I was thinking.
Hope there's been some good practices since that loss.
Hope you had a good practice today. Yeah, got to go to Baylor tomorrow. But yes, just segue to my point, to Will's point. Yeah, let's see if you answer the bell tomorrow at Baylor. Another tough game, but Just didn't show up Saturday. Just absolute disgraceful. And it's a regular season game, so it doesn't mean anything. It's just just absolutely.
They weren't even in that game.
No, all. Yeah, right from the jump. Yeah, off.
Yeah.
And I like.
They made a little bit of run almost before the half. They cut it to 10, I think, at half, but that was as close as they got.
Yeah. And I like Jamie Dixon, always have. He runs a good program. TCU's on the up and up.
Yep.
He's got some talent there. He's done a lot. He's always done a lot with less at his spots, right? He's always just taking really good ball players. When he was at Pitt used to always be a problem.
Yeah,
but they never really had like stars. They had really good players, right? They never had stars though.
Brad Wanamaker.
Yeah.
DeJuan Blair.
DeJuan Blair. I was like, who's the guy who got no knees anymore? DeJuan Blair.
Yeah. Levance Fields, who was there for 13 years, I think.
Speaking of Pitt, that's another terrible loss yesterday. Florida State at home. We're ACC guys, me and Wills, but that's a terrible loss for Pitt.
Yeah, and I'll finish it up. I'm going to go with Bethune-Cookman and whatever happened with the Ed Reed situation. I'm not saying Ed Reed is absolved of any wrongdoing or of any fault, but you knew what you were getting into when you hired Ed Reed to be your head coach of your football team, right? You knew you were getting a guy that is very passionate, that is there for the kids, and that's all he wants to be there for, right? He proved it with his stints at Miami. And the week before, I mean, you're talking, you get a recruiting weekend and you send an email out lying, saying he withdrew his name. And obviously he made the video and the live saying he didn't withdraw his name, and who knows what, truly went down and the real reason why it was going on. But, just like Deion did at Jackson State, Ed Reed knew he was going to have to put out his own money. He did put out his own money almost to like $3,000 without a contract. He was working the last 2 weeks without a contract, expecting that to get done. And the fact that it didn't get done, just continues to hammer home just, not even just, the HBCUs. I'm not too familiar with their inner workings, obviously, but you look around just the colleges now in general and just what's going on, just with colleges, it's just, there's so much wrong stuff going on. I don't want to say corruption because I don't know, right?
You're right.
So much issues going around in the modern collegiate.
They need to nix the fucking the free for all where you can just transfer wherever you want with.
Yes, that's number one. Yeah, that's number one. Yeah, we talked about it.
I know,
and the NIL's got to be reined in too.
Yeah, like the NIL should be a certain limit or something. That's like, I'm all happy with them getting money. That's great. There's got to be a limit, and you can't just be able to transfer wherever the fuck you want. It's the Wild West. It's crazy.
Especially because of the NIL.
It's a free-for-all.
Before this Ed Reed came out, the kid from Florida and Florida University was going to be my crumb. I mean, how's an incoming fresh? 4-year, $13 million deal. That's an NBA. That's an NFL contract.
Yeah. So we talked.
And now you're not going to go in because it didn't happen. Like, come on.
Yeah, we talked about it. There's NCAA's got a ton of issues. And football's their number one sport. It's the most popular, and I get it. But it's like Wilson said, it's a free for all. It's a Thunderdome. So that's the start of it. It's absolutely that's a disgrace. As far as your crumb, I agree with you. You know what I mean? It's they did so many things wrong. That led to that. There's no reason that you didn't wrap this guy up. If that's your guy, he should have been wrapped up in the first couple of days. No reason that guy should be, air quote, a lame duck guy.
Yeah.
While you're thinking it over. I don't know what was going on there. As far as his rant, if you're and I love Ed Reed and I love the passion, right? But if you're a young person or any person in general that is inquiring to have a job, you can't do that, right?
No,
you
can't agree, yes.
You can't MF people that you want to work for, and stuff like that. You can't do that. That's why social media is an absolute, it's deadly because you're in trouble there. But where I'm on your side 100% is they dropped the ball on several occasions. Even after Ed Reed's actions, it should call in to the office and talk to him and say, "Hey, that's not how we do things. It's not how we do things here. Issue an apology. If you don't want to, then you're done. But you need to issue an apology and say, listen, we've had some, we admit that there's been some debris here. We understand you're a clean freak. I get all that. All right. We'll make a better effort to clean the campus and get all that other stuff done on our end. But you need to go make a public statement and say, listen, I reacted. I was reacted harsh. I said some things I shouldn't have said. Profanity laced tirade. I say that 10 times, and do what you're supposed to do. Give him an opportunity to go down the apology tour, which a lot of people are granted. You didn't give him that. You went right to him. You lied, and you pulled the rug right out from him. And I think that's terrible on their part.
Yeah. You muted, Tommy.
Well, now I'm not.
Yeah.
And you're back.
Yeah. All I was saying was great show. Yeah. Just happy to be here in terms of playing this far into a season.
Oh, for sure.
I never try to take it for granted anymore. And I just try to soak in all of it, especially when we're doing what we do and we have the opportunity to talk about it. I know in this market, a lot of times what a lot of sports personalities want is they want the negativity. They want to thrive off of the I want to scream and yell negative instead I want to scream and yell excited. And I want to be in the business of screaming and yelling because I'm excited or I believe in our teams here instead of thriving off of the negative, which has been a lot of sports talk here in Philadelphia through our years of listening.
My life.
Yeah. Our years of listening. So
you can be a Dolphin fan. It's fucking miserable. So
you don't want to be.
Don't. No, there's no room here. There's
Swibs has had more QBs than years for the last 20, I think.
There's no room on this loser train. So enjoy it, brother. Enjoy it, bro. It's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Loser train full.
Seats taken.
Can't sit here. That's great.
Oh, well, great show.
Yeah, good work.
See you guys.
Absolutely, boys.
We'll be on obviously the night after. Agree, disagree. We'll be on then after Eagles.
I almost feel like we should try to go. I think we should try to do something next Sunday, Tommy. What do you think? We'll talk. We'll talk.
All right, talk off the record. Yeah, we're off the air.
We'll talk.
We'll
talk.
Yeah, what do they say? But yeah, 3:00 start, NFC title game, chance to go to the Super Bowl. I'm looking to come to everybody after that game, and I'll be talking about our trip to Arizona and how we should start booking our way out there. Right,
burning jersey, and what are we burning? You know what I mean? Like, what are we burning? You gotta burn something. I'll make another sweatshirt.
Yeah, I might take the dog down. You know what I mean? I might burn the dog.
Greg, you got a Barrow jersey?
That's careful. Peter they won't like that. So maybe I don't burn the dog. Just kidding. We're not gonna burn the dog. Would like to. He's picked bad all year. You know what I mean? But I think we need to get one more week out.
One more bad week out of him.
Yeah. He's going to be. Yeah,
he's on the Niners. This is Titans on the Niners.
Yeah, this is to me. This game comes down to as simple as this as we head out of here. This is the Ricky Waters revenge game. And when I tell you this is the real for who for fucking what. All right, for who for what this. Right, that's what we're who for what. All right, on Sunday. For who for what game? Wear that shirt, Nick. All right, put that shirt on, Nicky, all week. For who for what? With a picture of Ricky Waters on there. Game. All right. For Greg Wagman, Nick Sangato, Brian Wilson, I'm Tom Arnone, everybody out there. We love you. Thank you all for all the comments. Thanks for all the likes. For the new subscribers, for subscribers who have been here forever, for our members, for all our sponsors that you've seen flash through the last 10 minutes of the show underneath, and all the discount codes and promo codes you guys get that we give you. because we're always jerking you guys the fuck off around here.
I need a urinal. I need a urinal. Let me know if you're building one.
Share pipes? I don't know.
got a pipe sharing program over here.
Playing swords from this far away?
American Standard. Hey, American Standard, we're plugging you. All right? I know they're urinals. American Standard, be a sponsor. We're plugging you.
We're plugging you. Get us 2 euros. ASAP. We'll fucking piss live. All right?
Great flow.
You calling out a penis? All right, okay, I gotta stop.
Did you hear that flush? You guys heard that flush, right? I know I said not what I said. Yeah, there's a post-game show. Ted, are you out of your mind?
We'll be on after Teddy.
Yeah, Will said some ideas. So
Yeah.
Daddy's not happy about it.
I meant.
I mean, what is it? Hold on. As we're getting out of here, who the fuck is Malone Harddick?
Wow. Hey, how am I jumping for the urinals? This is
Malone Harddick.
It is after 1 a.m. Here we go. A2D after dark.
Throw those 15th burner. Hey, Ray. Hey,
I'm alone with Harddick. I should stop.
That's great.
Malone Harddick, we appreciate you jumping in here late.
Yeah.
We appreciate you getting up in us late here, Malone Harddick.
Great to see a Harddick late.
Said nobody ever.
Oh, Jesus. At this point, I might need to go give a Harddick.
I got a pee right now. If Sammy Draper was in front of me, I couldn't even fucking stand up. I couldn't even get up right now. I got a pee.
Place is Winterlock.
I need
too much hard dick comment for Sweet.
I need some dick floaties. Hey, Malone, you got any? I'm fucking drowning here.
Maybe the toilet company can do it. Great invention. We'll call that
American Standard. Where you at?
Yeah, that's it.
Not only do we need 2 urinals, we need some dick floating.
That's not a mint. That's not a mint.
Oh, I'm crying.
Put that on a shirt. All right. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, hard dick.
Wrap it up, hard dick.
Don't be Magic Johnson, hard dick.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. Stay stiff all week, Malone.
Ooh. Hey, he got out quick. That's what she said. He's not in the chat anymore. I don't see him.
He popped in. Popped in and out.
In and out real quick.
Quick hard dick.
Yep. Just a game of the tip. Just play the game of the tip. Just a game of the tip.
2 pumps it out.
It's the Friday night.
just stop by for a quick hard dick. That's all.
I'm sure Don's loving this.
What, the hard dick or
this whole segment? Because I'm sure he's begging for another hour now.
Oh, thanks for getting that, Wilson. Thanks for getting that.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Oh,
Don's lucky. I like him. I could have backed up with another comment, but I thought,
you already backed up. You already backed up on hard dick. No, I mean, leave him alone. Let him be.
Leave him alone. Leave him alone, hard dick. Leave him alone.
Let him breathe.
Oh, let
I'm
him
choking over here.
Let him
Thank God I'm out on hard dick.
Let him shower in peace, would you? Come on. HBO hard dicks.
Oh my God. We've definitely gone over the quote of hard dick comments. One more. Okay, one more.
Oh, can we?
Who's on? What team's on next year's HBO's Hard Dicks? The Lions were great this year.
Oh yeah, they're rock solid.
Rock solid.
All right, somebody hit the fucking button. I gotta go.
So for Hard Dick and everybody else here, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Go Birds!
Go Birds!